Woo! Booyah. Come
We are
on
live.
in. Come on into the set. Put the headphones on. We're on.
The voices might be out a little bit.
Sav's been working out some technical things behind the scenes. He's getting his head around all these little details that us common folk may not think about, as the big brain Sav over here is trying to dabble in the podcast.
Audio and video do not like each other. So if it's off this episode, this will be the last episode it's been off because I'm getting a new cord for it tomorrow.
It's all happening.
It's all happening. Thanks for coming on, Tom.
Pleasure, mate. Here we are.
Mr. Piro.
Serves it up for the mango sours from our friends at Fork Tree Brewing.
Shout out to Fork Tree Brewing as well. He dropped these off to me. And
Benny Hatcher, very good man. Delicious beers made. Lovely spot up there.
He can beat the fuck out of you.
And he definitely will. The nicest guy, but definitely will. Don't push him the wrong way.
He's got that dog in him.
He'll come at you. He'll come at you, and it'll be a worry that I don't need. I jabbed him once afterwards, and then he laughed at me because I ran away as a jiu-jitsu bloke. Couldn't even sit down. I was like, nope, not doing this.
He's a big man.
He's a very good dude.
So we're gonna rip the band-aid off straight away.
We're going to talk about the recent 298. We'll start with it was good for the Aussie, and then it was bad for the Aussie.
So does this rank? How upset were you in terms of MMA losses? Because that's number one for me.
That was the number one for.
I was fucking inconsolable at work. Like I was so upset. Like it was like watching a mate get knocked out.
Yeah.
Because do you know why? It could have. In hindsight's 2020. Like if he beat Islam, he's the best fighter that's ever lived.
Yeah.
But it's like, why did you take that fight on 11 days notice, get knocked out, potentially ruin your... Why didn't you fight Taporia a year and a half ago? Because you would have melted him.
This is all brilliant. It's all brilliant in hindsight, isn't it? Yeah.
But he would have melted him 2 years ago.
If it plays out any other way, that's why. What differs?
A poor one for my homies, dude. That was as upset as I've ever been watching someone lose in the UFC.
I was watching it thinking he was doing well. You listen to what the commentators are saying, and then after the fact you listen to what some other people are saying about strategies, his tactics, what his coach, what Joe's been saying about things were working well, it was going well for him.
Until they weren't. Until
it didn't work. He was chopping, he was winning, he was exiting a little hefty. It's just they knew what was coming. It wasn't a lucky punch. It was just he worked him to his spot. Toporia's boxing combos were getting more and more solid, more sound. He was getting more confident. He wasn't as worried about what was coming his way. He pushed him against the fence and got him set up and set him up to hit him with the big shot. And the issue that we saw with Volk was then how he actually went down. So he ate the flush shot, but he went down bad.
And do you know what? Good on Taporia for not putting it on him, like, because he probably could have snuck in another one.
He gave him another 2 or 3 between the hit and the 2 on the ground.
The hit was fucking... And
hit was flush.
One thing I will say, there is not a featherweight on that roster that is taking that shot. So it's not a fact of Volk's chin being diminished, but now you got to think after 2 pretty brutal KOs.
Yeah.
You do have to start thinking about that because he's 35.
Yeah, exactly. The older they get, and the easier it is to KO, and then once you've been checked, and then it's...
And why was he... And it's just like, he did that first, because I don't give a fuck who you are, and I love Volk. He's my favourite fighter. I'm getting a tattoo of him on my fucking arm still.
Yeah, you are.
He's the greatest combat sports athlete from Australia to ever live.
Yep.
And... But that first KO, I don't give a fuck how good you are, you would have some form of PTSD or hesitance after a KO like that.
Yeah.
And I wasn't watching it with commentary, and even I was like, it's so weird. He was biting on a lot of feints. And I was like, he's definitely a bit scared to get KO'd because he's backing up and he's biting on feints and he's lifting his fucking chin in the air.
Yeah.
And I was like, does not look good. And then I watched the fight again after work and the commentators noticed the same thing.
Yeah.
It's that he was biting on everything as if he was waiting for that one crack that could put him out.
Yeah, waiting for the hit. But he was also very kick heavy, right? That was
he was probably trying to gas his arms out with the blocks or...
Yeah, a lot of, again, things will work until they don't, until who's getting more confident and who...
When Taporia almost lost to
Jai Herbert when he got head kicked.
He obviously saw some tape and he's like, oh, maybe he could have just been going for that. But he was going kick heavy.
Because even earlier in Topuria's career, when he was in like Cage Warriors, he got caught with the same lead high kick.
He did.
Early in a fight, got staggered and stunned hard.
Did he lose?
No, he came back and choked the dude out. That's why he's undefeated, mate. He's 15-0 now.
Yeah, well...
Man had cameras following him.
All I can say about that is I hope they give him I don't want to see the rematch personally.
I think you just got to give it some time because Volk was, Volk presents all the problems. Man. And then I was saying to you before we turn this on, the lineup of all the big stars to make Topuria's name to fight everyone, Volk's already beat multiple times over and beat the shit out of him. So where does Volk go? Like, Volk should have some time off. And
he needs a minimum 6 months.
Say,
6 months off. No booked fight.
Off.
So realistically...
But the issue is he hated that last time, mate. And he had bloody a broken hand. And it was even through surgery. He was trying to be like, mate, get back into it.
You're the best featherweight that's ever lived. You can take 9 months off. Like, it's fine. Just take 9 months off.
Yeah, it's all good to say that. And then remember, Izzy was like, I'm taking all these years off. And then everyone's like, no, he's in camp for 300 just in case. Just didn't get the call up.
Yeah, but Izzy's been off for, 8 months? 6 months.
It's been about 6 months, yeah. What, since Strickland?
Yeah, Volk just needs to... Because he was an active champ. Yep. Like, he just needs to fucking reset, get his brain right. And honestly, with a really good training camp, it's hard to say does he win the rematch. I personally think Topuria's time's now.
Yeah.
And how many times have I said on the podcast, this is the year we're going to see all of the guards being passed to these new fighters.
Passing of the torches.
Topuria is the most legit of that statement.
Are you seeing what they're saying now that people are sharing the stats and views on how big Topuria actually is? Someone was saying the biggest European export now.
And they got Real Madrid. They got like all these superstar teams.
The Bernabeu, mate. They're going to sign them up and try and do a stadium gig.
And Topuria's going to... Topuria's like because he's
presenting the belt there. They're going to do
it's insane.
Yeah, they're going to the Bernabeu, which is where Real Madrid. That's the home team. Real Madrid.
Know what? Fucking hats off. I was the first person shitting on Topuria, and I obviously
knew how good he was.
It's just his personality was a bit grinding because you're Aussie. You were being we were being Aussies.
I know. I loved it for that. But I was watching Topuria's rise and I loved his style all the way through until it went to Volk. And then obviously it was like, I really want Volk's best foot forward. But I was looking at Topuria being like, yeah, this is definitely like the most interesting challenge.
Really?
If the confidence he brings the pressure boxing and the ground, I think would be very nullified by their skill set on the ground.
How about this? Obviously 2 years ago, Topuria was not as good as... Because fighters like that improve... insanely in
exponentially.
Month by month, they are gaining a centimetre on you. And that is huge in elite sports.
And that mindset's got a lot to do with that.
Exactly. He was recording a documentary about his fucking run to the belt. What kind of freak does that?
Yeah. Like they said, what is that? He was there in the crowd when Volk beat the shit out of Yair Rodriguez and then still wanted to step and be like, I'm going to get you. Like even after you watched him do that.
Everyone was saying he's got the essence of Conor. Like you got that essence of Conor Aldo.
He's got that. We said about his swagger. Like he's got that swagger. He's like, what are you in the mafia? Like,
and he's an attractive fucking dude, man.
Handsome fella. Handsome as fuck. Speaks quite well.
There's heaps of rumors about him like being a real hard motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, there's that video of him beating the shit out of someone in a nightclub, like probably checking for a mate. I've always been a fan, and the fact he's actually giant coming out of Europe, like. Yeah, he's bigger than anyone else. He's bigger than Cyril. Apparently, bigger than Cyril Gahn. Bigger than bigger than Hamza. Because Hamza doesn't fight now.
But Spaniards have never had a champion.
Exactly.
Like it's big for them. Dana White must have just seen money.
Oh my goodness! They opened the Mexican PI, UFC PI in Mexico.
They're building So in the press conference, this Spanish journalist was like, there's a new stadium. You know how Dana's pretty like dismissive of questions like making fights,
yes,
like after fights,
especially after fights. Yeah,
this Spanish journalist was like, there's a new stadium, a soccer stadium being built in Spain. Would you do the Volk and Topuria rematch in the brand new stadium
in the stadium in Mexico?
Honestly, I was expecting Dana to be like, I'll think about that, but he was like, is it indoors or outdoors? And so he was already like, cha-ching.
Where was the I think it was the Bernabeu. They were talking about having the fights there because it's got retractable roof.
Yeah.
And that was a massive thing. Apparently,
you can't do MMA outside. It's been done before, but it's not.
What about that wet and wild card back in the day, mate, where it poured rain?
But in elite MMA, you can't do it. It's too hot and stuff. Did you go to Apex Sports Fest when DFC did it?
No,
I didn't either, but all I was thinking was, fuck, it'd be a bit chilly at night for the fighters. Or it'd be like... It'd be like it did just
bad ones like that. Or what about when we watch the Swedish card, the first card in Sweden, and they were fighting at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Like, just because they keep with the time schedule, it's like, Sweden, they can deal with it. They're there at 4 a.m. just so it plays at a reasonable time in North America, so everyone else is happy that's watching it.
Yes, but fucking Volk, I wish him the best. He's still my favourite fighter.
Oh, man.
I just hope he takes 9 months off.
And he just needs some time away. Like,
one more fight, one more and done.
Nah, just such an active champ. Like, everything's still going well. He was still looking good. I think just Topuria running into the young lion on the rise, mate. It's a story as old as time in combat sports.
This is what I was saying actually before. If Topuria was as good as he is now, 2 years ago, and Volk fought him 2 years ago, who's winning that fight?
Yeah, Volk before the KOs.
Volk is like prime.
Yeah.
Just fresh off of the 3-fight war with Max Holloway, Volkanovski.
Yeah.
Who's winning that fight?
Yeah, well, exactly.
Who's winning it? You got $1,000 to put on someone.
It's a toss-up. It's Topuria.
2 years ago, Volk was untouchable.
Yeah, Volk wasn't getting hit hard, and when he did, he was just kind of like, and would move in. But like you said, hesitancy, getting KO'd. How many things just play on it, man?
And obviously,
what changes in the fight game is it's a game of inches.
And dude, having that belt and having everyone want to fucking kill you would be exhausting.
He seemed to take that very well. That was the whole part about him doing the sports bet ad and him playing up the old bit, and he was going in. Hindsight,
dude, that was so funny.
It was so good. And everyone was playing, and he was apparently calm, and all the work was put in, and that's just a shame. The guy come in and got a little outskilled. That was...
At the end of the day, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And, anyway.
Say congrats to...
congrats to Topuria.
You got a fan of me. And then you say Robert Whittaker versus Paulo Costa.
Viva la Spain.
Viva la Spain. Well, Spain's going to do big things.
Is that right? Is that how the Spanish speak? Espanol.
Yeah, man.
No hablo inglés.
Yeah, exactly. I'm useless.
Spanish people and Mexicans, same.
Yeah, they can figure it out because they're speaking Spanish. You know why that is, right? You know about Hernan Cortez in the 14th century. And
do you know I know about that because I watched Road to El Dorado?
Yeah, you did.
Excellent.
That stuff,
Excellent movie.
Yep,
Back when cartoons were legit.
Legit. Showing conquistadors, but trying to do it in a nice light.
Yeah.
Instead of the old pillaging that was going on.
Dude, do you know what I was thinking? Have you seen Road to El Dorado? The cartoon?
No.
I don't know if it's Disney.
It'd be on Disney, yeah.
Oh, such a good fucking cartoon, but I'm pretty sure there's a sex scene in it.
Cool.
The more I look back on it, the
Disney
more
wouldn't do that now, man.
No, but do you know what Disney do? They alter their shit for Netflix and stuff. Yeah, like they take out all of the sexual innuendos and racisms from their past. Oh. But if you got a DVD, an old VHS of it, you're not watching the same movie because they take shit out.
But that's just silly. Everything's getting chopped and changed.
Everything.
It's going to get worse when AI introduces itself. And
who was the co-main of that fucking card? I'm a bit toasty right now.
Whittaker versus Costa.
I put money on Costa to knock him out in the first round.
Did you?
And when that
wheel kick.
I'll show you the bet now. I was sitting down because I was like, do you know what? Costa, when he's in there and he's on and he's aggressive, like he's not going to fight him like he would fight Izzy because Izzy's a counter fighter. Rob's not a counter fighter. He's going to lunge in. And I was like, something. The spinning heel kick, I was like, I wouldn't even imagine that.
No.
But when he did it, I was like, why didn't you do this 10 seconds before? Oh my God.
He had a time. Rob was hurt.
Rob was hurt. He
got that stanky leg.
He ate it like a champ. Who is eating that kick from that behemoth ass motherfucker?
Will kicked him out of nowhere. Totally unexpected. But yeah, Costa was looking good. That was a good fight. Dude. And if I just remember thinking the whole time watching it, if you look at the end of this and you didn't see how the fight played out, you would think fucking Costa beat the shit out of him by damage taken and how it looked. But if you watch the fight,
Rob's got a lot of scar tissue.
Yeah, but also that. But if you watch the fight, you can say you roll, the thought of you roll with shots. So sometimes shots look like they're accentuated or what.
He did not roll with that fucking spinning heel kick, bro. He did not roll with it. He fucking He ate that like a fucking animal.
Yeah.
I've never seen any dude.
Yeah, that changes everything. That kind of a kick.
Costa's walking in that fucking octagon. What is it? What are they weighing in at? 185.
Yeah,
he's walking in there at least 198.
Oh, yeah,
at least.
Yeah, he's massive.
202, 205 pounds easy.
Yeah,
he's a massive motherfucker.
Yeah, he's a giant man. Yeah, that just made me think
God, he's just in a... Dude, I was showing me and my cousin were watching the fights. I was watching it on my phone at work, and he's never watched fights. And he's like, I really want to start watching fights. And I'm like, well, this is a good card for it. And as soon as Paulo Costa walks out, he's like, fuck. I was like, he's hot, isn't he? He's like, yeah.
How rude is the public though? The Paulo Costa, they always talk about his hairline because he got the hair transplant. There was the whole thing played up, and then they were like, look at his hair at the start of the fight, and then look at it in the third round. They're like, where did his hair go? It was all just splayed out, and all of a sudden went loose. It looked full in the front, and all of a sudden was fucking looked like it was wispy and gone by the end of it.
So here's a good one. What happens to Whittaker? He can't. Yeah. He's never fighting Izzy again.
No.
They're never doing that.
No, I don't do that.
They will never do that.
Who they talking about? Is he fighting next?
DDP.
Why did I feel there was someone else that they were talking about him?
But how's this for a little
a little morsel,
a little thought?
All right.
You do Strickland and Whittaker. And you do Izzy and DDP in Africa.
Oh, they got to do it in Africa.
They
now.
have to do it in Africa. Don't you reckon that's a banger?
I would take that. Strickland versus. I'm happy with Strickland versus Whittaker.
Strickland versus Whittaker, and you put Usman. Put Usman versus.
You reckon Usman wants to stay at 185 though?
No, put him with anyone in Africa.
Oh.
Just put him in our card as a co-main.
Yeah.
But you got Duplessis and Izzy.
They'd have plenty of African stars. They could make a really big card to go to Africa. It's just if they've got the issue. The big issue that no one would want to talk about is the infrastructure to get there.
Miles was sent.
Saudis they were easier to cooperate. There was money and things to just set up a giant area. We'll take this. We'll do that. Africa don't have that kind of infrastructure.
They'd have some World Cup shit there.
What, still in Africa?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too spread out. You know how fucking big Africa is?
Yeah, they're not going to go on a fucking world tour. They're going to UFC. You just pick a state. Nigeria. Nigeria is really developed.
Nigeria is developed. It's going to be massive. In the next 20 years, it's going to be the most populous country in the world.
Nigeria would be... I imagine South Africa is very fucking well developed as well. They'd have a stadium.
They would. Yeah, I don't...
It's just the logistics of it. The logistics of an African, because you got to get everyone. This is something that's never happened. You got to get malaria medication. Like it's a very, very big.
Also,
thing.
I think it's grease and palms. I think it's such a political game to get things taken over there. What about trying to get the Olympics and the Commonwealth Games here to bring it back to Australian sports and how difficult it is? They're like, yeah, we'll do it. No, we'll bring it here. And then you're like, oh no, we can't afford it. No, we'll scrap that. So we lost the Commonwealth game, or we lost the Olympics, or the Commonwealth. Melbourne dropped the games, right? And then Queensland were like, oh, we're going to do that. And then they're talking like, we don't have we can't do the development to actually be. And it's like, we might drop that too. And you can't do that on the world scale when it comes to these things. So they're like, before it's all set up, before they do it, they go, can we set this up? Can we do it?
And it's also the legit, like they've never done anything like it. Like it would be logistically a nightmare, I imagine.
Yep.
And what do they do with tickets? They'd have to lower ticket prices so the locals can afford it because they deserve to be there. This is their fucking African champions fighting. Like,
these are the questions that they'd have to come up with, mate. You need people that know this kind of stuff.
Because poor people around the world can gather together for $300, but
to pay for a UFC ticket, that's why.
African poor is a different poor.
Yeah. Who's going to get the shaft on that one? They have to fill the seats, so you've got to make it. Who would you
give Whittaker? The only one that makes sense is Strickland. Only one to me.
Yeah.
We were talking about it in the group chat, and these aren't all my thoughts as well. Shout out to my group chat. You know who you are.
Yeah. Oh, there's no one else leaps off the page because he's been doing it so long. He's almost fought everyone else. I mean, who else is there really at middleweight?
There's no one. He's like Robert Whittaker.
We still don't know what's happening with Hamzat though, do we?
Oh fuck that cunt! I'm so off the Hamzat train, man. Oh, he's just like it's Ramadan now, so he can't fight. Yeah. But it's just like
can't even fight in the States.
Pick a fucking weight class, and just dominate it. Yeah. Because were they talking about comes up versus
Why do I feel there was a fight?
No, there's one brewing. There's one brewing. What is it? Comes up versus who?
I don't know. Is it someone in? Wait, why can't I?
Is Kamzat fighting at fucking 170 or 185?
No, it'd be 185 now. He's gone up. Remember, there was too many issues with
you
the weight.
do him and Whittaker. You do him and fucking Whittaker. If he beats Whittaker, he deserves a title shot because Whittaker is the worst opponent for him.
Yeah, we thought that from a while ago, right?
Whittaker's the fucking worst opponent for him. You do Whittaker and Kamzat.
Yeah, that could be.
Or
that could be a good one.
Or that's all you do. That's the only one that makes sense.
Well, Strickland, or you got Strickland and Whittaker, or Whittaker versus Hamzat. Yeah, there's a few different options there.
You reckon? I reckon.
Oh, that was the other fight. So Ian Gary, our mate Ian.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he
wasn't impressed.
No. Well, he was just point fights it out. They're all just touching gloves, being like, "This is cool. Let's."
And every time
have
they
a little
land
jab,
a strike,
jab here and a move
it was
there.
like watching a fucking sparring match.
Yeah,
I've seen people at M16 fucking throw harder.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like it was like.
But he knows he could do it. That's the issue. They're saying with Ian Gary's like he's that technically sound. If he can play that and he can do that with pretty much nearly anyone in the welterweight division. So then he asked.
I reckon Leon's a horrible matchup for him.
But then he asked for Colby, and it was like he's coming off a 3-fight skid.
I reckon
still with the name, but it's like how he looked even against Leon in his last fight.
I'd watch the fuck out of Colby and I'd watch the
Colby
fuck out of it.
and Ian Gary.
I'd watch the fuck out of it.
That's a good one.
I reckon that's a good one.
Yeah,
it's wrestling heavy as fuck. Colby's not going to strike with him.
No, he's not going to want to strike with him.
Colby's not going to even.
How far is he going to have to shoot away from to get into his legs?
That's the thing. You got to be willing to cop.
That's why. Will he be able to cop those shots, or will Ian Gary be able to sit down and his shots enough to actually hurt him?
Is Gary a very, very big welterweight?
No, he's muscling up. He was quite skinny, and now he's kind of grown into his frame. He's tall
because he seems like
he was never cut.
He seems like he's way bigger than Colby.
He just uses his length.
How tall is Colby? You reckon 6'1"?
5'10". Colby's
only
about
5'10".
5'10". Yeah.
How tall is Gary? 6? Over 6?
6'1".
Yeah, I was gonna say because he looks a lot bigger in stature. Like Colby, he's got a cardio.
It's just styles and cardio to push forward. Gary circling as much as what he does, and hanging around the outside and not getting pinned against the cage.
Who do you put in that fight?
Oh, I think Gary would pepper him up now.
You reckon?
Colby is now, I think Gary fucking peppers him up.
He's too inactive, isn't he?
Before, because even if Colby gets him to the ground, I don't think he can actually hold him to the ground. And then I think cardio Colby is a little bit like sea-level Kane. It might be at the tail end of it.
It's not even that. It's more like you fight once, maybe every 16 months. 14 months.
He went a long time in between his last few fights.
But you're fighting maybe once.
He had 2 years off, and then he came back and got the title.
Every 1.5 years, you're fighting. Like there's no amount of marathons that's going to prepare you to get punched in the face. Like you can run 10 marathons a week. Fucking Tony Ferguson finished the only person to finish David Goggins' fucking Hell Week.
Yeah,
but doesn't translate.
Doesn't matter when you get in the cage.
It doesn't
translate.
In the face. It does not. It translates obviously with cardio. Like if you can drag, like we'll get to the Marab in a second. But if you can drown someone, drown
him with pace.
But if you're not practicing getting fucking belted every day, like you're not gonna.
Well, that was also the issue they'd say with cardio. It's like it's all fun to think you've got wicked cardio and wicked to look at your times running on a bike, look at your times swimming, look at your VO2 max. Yeah, that's
punched
great.
In the face after every 2 minutes.
Because it's the idea of shocking. So all of a sudden you get short, shallow breaths because every time you're getting hit, it's and so you can when you're running at a constant speed and you can keep consistency and then you push yourself and it works out. Yeah, but when it starts to sting like that and damage and everything starts to accumulate, you start getting in your own head going, oh, if I do this, then things are going to go wrong because I know the consequences of this. It's what makes it a very dangerous but beautiful sport because it's a game of... Yeah, it's a very, very difficult game to play.
Under Ian, who did we get? Was that Marab and
versus Cejudo. How is it an Olympic level gold medalist?
I got the shit fucking handed to him.
He picked it up on his shoulders. An Olympic level gold medalist drove him into the cage, picked him up on his shoulders, walked him across, throws him down
like a child.
There was some mugging moments.
Like you would not go back to the gym if that happened to you in your first 6 months.
Yeah, that should have hurt your feelings.
Oh, God,
dude,
no.
That'll hurt you. Just knowing how good he was.
You're picking a different sport.
But it was...
And Marab, what a fucking... Bro, I don't know who's taken over his Instagram or if he is just...
He's doing some good shit now.
Or if he's just flourished into this fucking...
He's putting himself out there a little bit more.
Dude, he laughed at my story. Yeah, did I send you the video?
No.
he liked my story because I posted a video of him and I tagged him and I was like, I'm actually fangirling over Merab Dvalishvili.
Yeah.
Like, he is the funniest fucking cunt in the world.
He's nuts as well. Like,
He's a psycho.
There's so much out there.
He stole Sean O'Malley's shirt. He's a weird... Dude, now...
Stole the jacket. He goes headfirst into ice, split his head open. He calls out everyone. All of a sudden, he's got the most takedowns in a fight in, like, UFC history.
Did you watch the video? The video I shared was the one of him. He's in a... professor outfit, like a scientist outfit.
Yeah, he's going, I beat this guy. Sandhagen will beat him, and then he's going to beat this.
But then I will call out this 72-year-old fighter.
He's so good.
But he's... Fuck Cejudo. I don't even want to talk about Cejudo because I don't like him. But
He's probably retired again.
Oh, he is. Dana didn't let him retire on the mic, though.
Didn't even get it.
He's like, he retired like fucking 2 years ago. But it's right.
It was like, how much do you want to keep rubbing the shine? Because isn't that the issue with Merab? It was the thing with his friendship with Aljo, why he can't get the title shot, because Aljo was the champ. I'm not going to fight him. But look at where he's at now. There's like, apparently they had a 3-round fight in the back before they went out and actually had the fight
and
itself.
That does not surprise me. Did you see the video of him lapping a fucking Vegas pool with no breath?
Yeah. He's a mad hatter.
Like, he's a psycho, man.
But so my thing would then tie that in, because then we can go into 299. So the main event in Miami is O'Malley versus Chito Vera at 135.
Which I reckon O'Malley wins.
O'Malley wins.
Oh, do you reckon? Chito just doesn't.
Yeah.
I fucking love Chito as a fighter, but he doesn't. I actually think that Sean O'Malley just got really unlucky in his last fight.
He got drop foot, right?
Yeah.
He did something to his foot where he got drop foot.
O'Malley's really prone to injury. So if Chito trains like a madman and he lives a lifestyle.
One of those slow trains, mate, when all of a sudden he gets going when you're 3, 4, 5 rounds. That's when he's starting to get into it.
You want to talk about cardio. Chito's another one.
But that's why those three, so that's a very interesting little triangle.
Bantamweight is what featherweight was 6 years ago.
Yeah, bantamweight, because then you got Corey Sandhagen in there, and he presents a whole bunch of different issues to the top level guys.
If he can beat anyone on like any given day if he's on that night.
There's a few. There's
all of it. Like, I can see the bantamweight belt being tossed around a bit because I can see Merab getting knocked out by Chito or Sean O'Malley.
So I would say that O'Malley has a better chance of knocking out Merab just because of his style. Like, as Merab's pressing in to try and get the takedown, he just goes in there, whap, and then knocks him like he did with Aljo. Whereas Chito is much more accepting of like getting into the grappling and playing guard a little bit. He can fight a slower pace
fight. Chito can play a slower pace fight.
He's a slow burn. Cheeto is the definition of a slow burn fighter.
I could see O'Malley beating Merab way more than I could see Chito beating him. But then I could see Sandhagen beating Merab.
Yep.
But I could never see Sandhagen losing to Sean. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, Sean and O'Malley versus Sandhagen would be a banger.
Yeah, dude.
Their striking styles are so... Who's catching what first with what giant like leap-in shot? Because one does leaping knees, the other's whoop, whoop, in. That's a crazy matchup of striking styles. Because then you look at the open fight of 299 is Peter Yan versus Song Yadong.
I really hope Yan. I love Yan. So
Yan he's having a hard go of it right now.
Oh, when he was on though, like never got hit clean.
He's one of the best
boxers. Yeah. Like just his range and just a fucking animal.
He's still there, but it was just he was on the rough end.
Is it 0-3?
I think it's 3
or 4.
I think it's 3.
He's one you never let go of, though. He's good to have in the divisions. He's like a Cody. If he continues losing, he's like a better Cody Garbrandt.
What is it about those Russians, mate? They keep getting poor decisions. They're like, I'm out of here. I'm
Cody
sick of this.
Garbrandt's fighting soon, isn't he?
Yeah, he's coming back up.
Is he on 300?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes, he is.
Against?
Who's he fighting?
It's a fucking terrible fight for him.
Oh, well, yeah.
Can you look that up?
Yeah, who did...
That's how funny I am. I make my guests become my young Jamie.
Yeah. Luckily, I said I had him up, but I've only got Bank or Davidson Figueiredo.
Oh, that was a bad
They
fight,
gave him Figueiredo.
Do you know what, though? He could, after his last performance, everyone ate their fucking words after he knocked that cunt out.
Yeah. But Figueiredo was eating shots, and it was like, he was looking good, but then he was eating shots, and then it was like, can he keep eating these shots at the 135 instead of 125? He just came back and then beat the fuck. He ran over the top of him.
Cody can fucking bang.
Dude, that's a good fight. That's the good fight to see if Cody comes in and, if he's back. If he comes in and really shows it, has a good showing, then he's back into it.
I'm the first person to joke and shit on Cody because it's funny too. But People forget Cody Garbrandt has literally, definitely still has maybe one of the slickest boxing styles in MMA ever.
Yeah.
Like when he's on, just anyone who has never seen him and Dominic Cruz,
yeah,
that is a masterclass performance of fucking striking.
That's the fight to watch. Just to
Prime
see.
Cody Garbrandt was a fucking animal.
Yeah.
And
before he got KO'd by TJ.
That TJ fight, but do you know what's funny? He was winning the fight.
Yeah,
and then
he did. He dropped him in the first round.
They just started.
Didn't he drop him in the first round in both fights?
Yeah, he just has a very poor fight IQ for MMA.
Yeah.
Like, because he obviously sees red and he
gets
freaks
overly anxious.
out.
Yeah.
And he had a big rivalry with
TJ.
and
There was a lot of back and forth.
snakes in the grass.
There was a lot of back and forth. There was some good banter on that one. They did that was the latch on the throat, on the Ultimate Fighter.
The great fucking what a time to be alive.
Man, there was a lot going on back then.
So before Merab, I reckon definitely gets the next title shot.
Oh yeah. And the winner of Cheeto versus O'Malley.
And I reckon the toughest fight for him is definitely O'Malley.
For Merab, yeah, toughest fight is O'Malley for style. I think Cheeto's much too accepting, and he might get run over with pace. He isn't a slow burner. I don't think he'll get
two rounds of that shit.
He'll get too accepting of being on his back and being defensive wrestling and think he's doing all right. But Merab will keep winning, and he'll keep being able to put him down.
Do you have a beer?
Yeah, I got this one. uncracked.
All right.
Yeah.
Excellent.
No, we're just, I'm happy, mate. Mango sour from Fork Tree. He's had these in the fridge, and I was like, it's a little tasty. As a man that's just been on his standard pirate life, mate. South Coast is bland in consideration.
Sponsor me, Pirate Life.
Oh, come at him with the big bucks.
I'll drink. Do you know what? How about this? Any company in Australia.
It's not Big Shed at the moment.
That's so rude.
Oh, sorry. I love Big Shed, but they're struggling right now. But I hope they stay open. I love that place.
I'm not laughing.
No, I'm
not laughing at Big Shed. It was just.
It was unexpected. Sorry.
Yeah. Any company in Adelaide that wants to give me and listen to my idea. I'm looking at the camera now.
Here we go.
All right. You got to give me 10 grand. Ooh. And when me and the boys go on the most insane Vegas trip you've ever seen, I will make a YouTube video sponsored by your company that will go viral of me slapping 10K or red on black for you.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that. All right.
Any company.
I can't wait to be in that shot.
Any company, Troy Candy, anyone in Australia who wants to give me $10,000 US, so whatever that works out to be, about 14 grand.
Something like
that. I
that.
will take it to the MGM Grand Roulette table.
Slap it on.
And I will slap it on your choice of red or black.
Oh.
And I'll give you your money back if I win.
Oh. That's a lot of money to give back, huh?
10 grand.
Yeah.
I'm going to win 20.
Oh, okay. So we got to stipulate that as well. You give back the money that you gave me and I get the winnings.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Either way, you get a YouTube video out of it, sponsored.
Mate,
and it will go.
Does it have to be 10? Are you willing to go a little? Are we negotiating
I'll go
on
5?
Oh, here we. Oh, good. There's wiggle room, people.
I'll go 5.
If anyone wants to get in,
do you know what? No. It has to be 10.
Exactly.
It has
Wiggle
to be
room
10.
for content.
No,
and do you want it to go viral? These are standard.
5,000 doesn't look good in a thumbnail. 10,000 looks great.
You need that extra zero.
10,000 looks way better.
It's a magnitude scale.
If you want to give me 15. I'll take a videographer.
You pay for his room.
I'll pay for my videographer's room. Honestly, though, do it. I'm going to make a clip of that, please.
You've dropped it now. So Vegas is. We've spoken about it. It's all been hinted at. Declan Moody is competing at ADCC along with many other fan-friendly people that we know.
Declan Moody.
So we're all there's a bunch of us going now. There's going to be, by the looks of it, about 15 of us.
I'm dressing up as Alan from The Hangover.
Yeah, you are.
And I'm going to walk into the Caesar's Palace and go, so is this the real Caesar's Palace?
You'll fit right in.
It's just a pack of wolves.
You could do, I'm a wolf pack. I'm a lone wolf.
I can see us having a conversation like that on a rooftop somewhere.
Oh my God, it's
Who's gonna? If you could pick one of the boys to be the one that goes missing. Who is it?
Oh, I didn't think it'd be the one in my last soccer trip. He went missing for 24 hours. We're like, when do we have to call the cops? Because, like, he's gone for this long. He's like, I had a crazy experience. Man, who went out? Oh,
it's me, isn't
it? It'd be you, yeah. My first thought's you, mate. It's you. Or Jonesy. I think Jonesy might know too many people. But
Jonesy's going to be
he doesn't just wander off.
You can find that cunt fucking lying down in Morphevale.
Where's he walking from? Maybe not in the streets of Vegas, on Vegas Boulevard.
7'3", pretty hard to miss.
7'3", just grew 5 inches.
All right, so did that open up the main card?
Well, it wasn't Marab. It wasn't Marab versus Cejudo. There was another fight that opened up.
We'll get the card up.
What about the main prelim was Mackenzie Dern versus Lemos, and that was that got fight of the night.
Do you know what? It deserved.
Yeah, because Dern got smushed, got absolutely smacked up, but then she did a wicked armbar sweep.
Yeah, why did she celebrate after?
Dude, she did it again.
It's not even the same name.
I know. Amanda Lemos does not sound anything like Mackenzie Dern.
You speak English.
She ran off on Amanda running, and I was like, oh no, she misheard her. You see her just running off, celebrating. I was like, that is awful.
Dude, you speak like she speaks. We remember.
She speaks fluent English. She definitely speaks fluent English. Apparently, she struggles. She's been living in Brazil that long. Just changing partners.
She's been getting them.
Going through divorces. Yeah, just going through some divorces, and one bloke's with her for her money. It's all a bit much, really.
It's but like, dude, fucking UFC. If you're not a casual, you know that bitch speaks English.
She just go, but there's a very famous clip. It's about 4 minutes long.
Do you remember when she had a translator?
Yes, George Grigel had to come in and stand by her side, be like, I know she speaks.
She's pretending like
There's a card she translates. She literally listens to the English and then translates herself. And why have you got a translator in there? It's all just a bit much.
What's his name? The Portuguese translator?
I can't remember. Not the new one.
No, the homeboy, the man.
No, the guy now. I can't remember his name. I follow him on the X.
You know the one.
Yeah, I know the one. He's wicked because he gets involved with the bet. These were older. These were the older ones.
UFC 298. There was one on the early prelims that I'm so excited to watch fight again.
I just remember that the light heavyweight Chinese bloke.
It was fucking fluffy and
Hernandez versus Kopylov. Hernandez ran over the top of him.
I can't believe you bet against him.
Why? I couldn't believe he was 3-1. Kopylov was 3-1 against Hernandez.
Fluffy's good.
I know he's good. I watched all of their fights in the UFC in the last 3 days before the fight. I watched all of their fights leading up.
See this button? See this button up here?
Yeah.
It's like a little...
The smaller one or the big one?
At the front.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you go to the left?
Left.
Wait up. Yeah, that's it. No, more. Now back. Yeah. No, forward.
More?
Forward. Yeah, that's good.
Alright.
Salam alaikum. Thank you.
Salam alaikum.
Brother. But yeah, I can't believe, why the fuck did you bet against Fluffy? That's dog.
I thought I was going to put it on Fluffy. I could not believe that Kopylov, I went for value. That was more based on value.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, shut up. That wasn't on camera. That wasn't on camera.
Damn. It didn't change back in time.
That wasn't on camera.
Oh, but we're worried about... So Vegas, mate, the first night, who's gone missing on the first night? Because once we all get there, because we go in a day earlier than you, we leave on Monday and get there on Tuesday night, I think. So we're there for Tuesday night.
Can you scout out some potential podcast guests for me while you're there?
Oh, sure, man. For that extra day that I'm there before you get there.
I imagine you meet a lot of motherfuckers in Vegas.
Oh, there's going to be people. I'm going to be at the craps table, mate, throwing some dice.
I'm going to give you $200.
Please don't.
You get there a day before me, so you get an extra day of gambling in.
I will.
Put it through a poker machine.
I will. I'll do that. I'll do that for you. You don't have to give me the money for it. I'll do that regardless.
If anyone in general wants me to put them on some money at a certain table or whatever, or on a slot machine,
hand it over, and
I'll record me
doing it,
playing it, and I'll give you the full winnings. I'll put them in in the safe.
Here we go.
And I'll bring it back for you.
Call out to anyone that wants to throw that kind of money across.
Whether you be 12, 13, 14 years old, no.
Oh, no, we can't do that. We don't do that. We don't condone these things. Illegal gambling, underage kids, damn it.
Oh, it's going to be a fucking wild night.
It's going to be a hectic trip. So, Moody, we look forward to watching you compete, mate. I look forward to seeing you back. He's I didn't even know he was coming back.
Either did I.
He's coming back. He's doing a seminar in early March.
Next month.
Yeah, early March. He's doing a seminar down at Progressive.
For like a week?
I have no idea. I haven't heard anything from him.
I'll message him after. We'll do a little podcast.
Yeah.
I've got to get
see
him
how it's all going.
because then he'll be too famous for me after ADCC winning medals.
Yep. Gets that. Have we heard if Craig's actually going to be in it yet?
Allegedly he is.
Yeah.
But he'll be invited to it. I don't see why he wouldn't.
I just can't wait to be in that area. Like, there's going to be. You want to talk about nerding out at seeing all these famous jiu-jitsu people everywhere.
What you're going to be like is what like I was like at the UFC.
Oh, I'm not saying looking at someone going, coach.
No, you're going to see Coach. You're going to see John Danaher and just do this. Take your gi off. Take your rash guard off. Let me see him.
Where's me knife? Do I have to get promoted under you?
Honestly,
that's not a knife. That's a knife.
So here's a question.
Uh-huh.
You have drank 7 beers at ADCC, and you walk into the public bathroom,
and he's there.
And no, you're taking a piss. This guy opens the thing. John Danaher just comes right next to you. Flops his cock out. Starts taking a piss. Are you looking at his dick?
No, I'm looking at him and then I'd do this one, right? So if this is the camera over here, I'd just be looking.
That's weirder than looking at his dick.
And then I would look at him, snap, and be like, and then look forward and just be like, hey man.
Oh bullshit.
No, I wouldn't be that cool at the time. I'd just keep with the eyes blaring open, just staring forward, and in my head I'm going,
you would fucking pull guard and be like, so what do you think about this?
Not pulling up. Not pulling guard anywhere on that guy. He might just stab you in public. He might not care. Without a thought given.
I was doing a podcast. Just so funny saying it. Shout out to Adam Jacques.
Oh, the guy from Sydney. I started following him after that podcast.
He didn't have the best run in Adelaide.
Oh, he got laid on.
He's a weapon though. He put me on his rash guard for free, the session stuff. On his competition rashy.
Oh.
Yeah.
What a guy.
He had a free slot, so he chucked me in there.
What a lad.
But he was like, it would not surprise me if John Danaher wears dead people's skin and shit.
Dude, he might be one. Why does he give away knives? I listen to the way he talks.
What are you talking about the knives? I'm not deep into the lore of John Danaher.
So when he promotes higher belts, he gives them knives. Yeah. And it was something, there's footage of him slicing open paper in front of his students with these super sharp knives, and he gives them out to people. And there's a whole lore behind giving knives. I think it's the way of the samurai.
Bushido. He needs to just stop.
He's a different kettle of fish.
He needs to stop.
Listen to him for more than 10 minutes, you realise he's a different kettle of fish.
He needs to fucking stop what he's doing. Though.
He's into a lot of things, mate.
I'm sorry, but if I invited someone to a wedding and they wore a fucking rashi.
Just leave the rashi, yep. No suit, just wear the rashi.
Oh, I could just imagine him.
Prepared at all times.
I could imagine him in an old style Japanese samurai hut.
Yeah.
With scrolls everywhere.
Yeah.
It's pitch black, and he's got one candle, and Gordon Ryan is just in front of him, just cutting himself with a razor blade.
Oh. That's old school. Instead of old school Christianity whipping themselves, they're taking slices out
and
with
John's
Danaher's knives.
Just pinching the tip of his cock.
Oh, pinching it.
Yeah.
He's got bull clamp nipples. He's absolutely just sitting there and flicking around a little bit.
He's like, what do you think about leg locks, Gordon?
No. Tell me what you really think. And did I train you correctly?
Gordon's like, Craig Jones.
Oh, no. That's just that running background, that chatter. But that's...
anyway, that went dark.
Sorry about that, guys. But sometimes that happens on a Friday night. So then you've got Craig Jones is coming up. He's got Phil Rowe in a day or two. But then he's got Lovato Jr. on the same card.
He's going to fiddle Lovato.
But so he wants to do Lovato. This is very nice of him. He did it close because look, he's talking about not wanting to compete.
Lovato had
something with his brain.
Tumors?
Yeah, maybe not a tumor, but he had something wrong with an issue.
Growth.
He had an issue with his brain.
He
got a scan and there was there's an anomaly. Yeah. He stepped away for nearly 2 years.
Anyway, continue what you're saying.
But so Craig wanted to take this match so close with this one with Phil Rowe because the Phil Rowe one's like a piss take, right? I think he's getting paid pretty good. He's having a big joke about who's getting sued over the Chicago Bulls rights because they've both stolen clothing and taken the Chicago Bulls merchandise and just done it themselves, so they're going to get sued by the trademark, which is its own funny spin. But let's be honest, Craig Jones is going to absolutely maul him in jiu-jitsu, so that'll be fun. And probably, I wonder what the situation is with leg locks, because if he can rip on leg locks, that's just way worse for Phil. But then you've got Lovato versus Craig. And yeah, Craig took that because he's never fought Lovato, and the fact Lovato's in MMA now. But just his name.
I know Lovato's jacked, but are they
size-wise?
Yeah, the same thing. Craig's huge.
No, he's a big. I think Craig will have a bit of size on him. Lovato's good though.
Yeah, man. But Craig's got the fucking Jones genes in him. He's like an octopus, bro.
Yeah. No, he's definitely got that. He's definitely his style as well. That's how they do it. It's different from what Lovato has, but that's a good match. And on that same Fight Pass Invitational is Nicky Rod versus Roberto Jimenez. And that's a good match. Jimenez, man, I'm not sure if there's a bloke that competes more. That guy's always on big cards, whether it's the Polaris Fight Pass Invitationals. I'm not sure there's a bloke that takes more matches like in super fights than that bloke.
Do you know if Jeremy Skinner qualified for ADCC?
I don't think he did.
Didn't he?
I don't think he did, no.
He's a fucking animal.
Yeah, he's a weapon.
He choked me unconscious.
Yeah, I know he did. Yeah.
Good dude.
Yeah.
But he's
a very nice guy, but he's a savage.
He's
he's built that way though. He's such a small guy, but meanwhile he's built like a tank.
His hands and arms.
Yeah.
But
super technical though. He's got great online content. As well.
I was gonna say if you're into jiu-jitsu and you haven't been on Jeremy Skinner's page,
follow his pages.
He is going to be a brilliant mind in jiu-jitsu in Australia.
He's definitely got a mind for it. He's following in the way of a Lockie Giles.
He's going to be a phenomenal coach one day.
Yeah. Oh, he's very good.
He's a phenomenal athlete, but obviously athleticism and coaching is a very different thing.
Definitely.
He's good at both.
Definitely.
Like, I don't even think Danaher I was giving shit to Danaher, but only because he's a weirdo. He's obviously one of the greatest coaches to ever
We
grace.
know he's a genius. We're just having a laugh.
He's never even competed.
No, he wasn't much for the competition. And that's so important now, apparently.
That's like Eric Nixick. I don't think he's ever...
No, I don't think Nick Six has had that much. Dewey Cooper did. Dewey Cooper was a world champion kickboxer.
He's not fallen off so hard, but you don't hear about him a lot.
Faraz Sahabi?
Faraz Sahabi.
Yeah, because he's got no... Yeah, he did.
His brother used to... His brother
Eamon fights. Eamon fights in the UFC. Faraz took kickboxing matches and he took fights in Canada. But he never made it to a main...
Was Freddie Roach a boxer?
Yes. He was he was a good boxer, but he knew he took too many shots.
Is that what's going on?
He took too many shots. Yeah.
Like that would be
part of it.
Attributing to his diminished.
That's why he stopped as well, because he was taking too many shots.
I love that Freddie Roach fucks with MMA. I love the fact that he fucks with MMA.
Yeah, he trains and I love the strikers in MMA that want to go see him.
I love that. Oh my god, I'm such a mental blank. Teddy Atlas. I love that Teddy is so involved with MMA.
He does. He's cross promoting big. He loves watching all the fights as well. I just saw that little clip of him talking with who's the famous protege of one of his boxers, and he's talking about being a fireman in the corner.
Oh, bro, we're firemen.
Yes,
we're firemen. Yes. We don't run away from the fire.
Yes, I watched that before coming here. It was just on one of my reels, and I was like, "We're firemen. We're not afraid of the fire. We run towards the heat. This is the round we turn it up. We're going after."
I think his fighter still lost.
No, he did. He went out and won that. He won that.
Oh my god,
he won that one.
Do you know for MMA fans who haven't seen that, think of Leon Edwards' corner.
Oh, the Rocky speech.
That is the only moment I can recall in cornering history that is better.
If you're ever curious about what brings these things out of people, if you just type into YouTube greatest corner moments in boxing, corner moments in MMA, you're going to hear some barn burners about knowing your fighter, to give them what they need, to give them the mental fortitude, to give them that little bit extra. If something's going bad or something's not going right, or so you think something's going right, but you're trying to pick them up more so that they can put that little extra exertion, that little extra effort to give that 10% more, that then they'll come out of their shell and really run over the top. And then all of a sudden a fight is like, it's a dance. All of a sudden it becomes a torrent and you've just been completely overwhelmed and overrun by someone putting their pressure and their presence on you. So
I don't have my TV hooked up, so I can't play it on there, but I'll just play this for anyone who hasn't.
20 minutes down, 5 to go. A dejected challenger. Yes. Stop showing that you're tired. Listen, stop feeling sorry for yourself. Well, come on then. What's wrong with you? You're too down. You got to pull the out of fire. Come on, Liam.
Oh, it's fucking good.
Pull the shit out the fire.
Do you know what though? Do you know what that is for people who don't understand? In fighting, you can learn to throw punches and kicks all you want, but as soon as you check out of a fucking fight, you are going to get hurt. And Leon, from the 3rd, 4th round, was so checked out of that fight.
He looked like
that
it, yeah.
his corner wasn't even giving him advice in there. They were literally just yelling at him, like, get your fucking head in.
And commentators were speaking about it. Like Dean Thomas, who's coach, he's the expert analysis to go along with Daniel Cormier and Joe Rogan about to come in with an opinion. And he's saying he looks checked out. And they're all saying he looks checked out.
But that is the cloth from which he is cut.
There you go. Make the greatest call. They're one of the greatest sports commentary of all time.
Shout out to John Anik, the best to ever fucking do it.
He's one of the best to do it for that commentary call. I mean, why do I think of Bruce McAvaney for the greatest to do it when we're in Australia over here?
Bruce McAvaney is the best to do it in Australia.
Best to do it in Australia. But then
that gives me goosebumps. That fucking thing, man. Imagine. Do you know what? Like, people obviously having a kid is the best moment of a lot of people's lives,
right?
But for those cornermen, who, especially the head coach, who has lived, cried, sweat, literally blood, like fucking gone through war with this dude for 10 years, 20 years, seeing this kid grow up from a fucking...
Took him from a clay of nothing to build him into a statue.
Leon was literally a fucking... Like, he was a broken human.
He had it rough.
And this dude just took him. And imagine seeing your boy just fucked. And you're like, this is going to end bad. And then that head kick happens.
And then he throws his combo.
That is, without it... And now everyone's using that fucking combo. That fucking is... And just imagine how the feeling would be for that corner.
Oh, yeah, ecstatic.
There'd be nothing like it.
That's ecstatic wonder, mate. That's ecstatic bliss. That is the almost... That's transcendent. That's an experience.
Out of body shit.
That's transcendence.
And then you get...
Because you're separated from your senses.
You see the fighters... I can't talk on all athletes. I'm sure all elite athletes have this moment when it feels like you're looking at yourself from above and you're controlling yourself with a fucking controller.
Yeah. They've spoken about it.
You're like, you're not even throwing the combos. I'm watching myself throw the combos.
Yeah. And it looks like a video game from the outside.
But you can see when people are dialed in. Like, remember Eddie Alvarez and Conor McGregor?
Yeah,
that finishing sequence was a top 3... Actually, here's a good one.
Top 3, Donald Cerrone versus Rick Story.
That's my number 1, always.
Yeah.
What's your favourite 2 combos in UFC history?
I thought, because that came up the other day, and that Cerrone one is just, dude, absolutely.
Jab to the head, cross to the body, lead hook with a fucking head kick.
Yeah. Because he goes up, down,
Does it get better?
Yeah, mate, it doesn't.
Just ergonomically.
Yeah, everything hit. He hit him with a 4-strike.
Boof.
Yeah, the body moved every which way that what you think to get stabbed with the shot and then get whacked with a head kick, which just kind of sends him stumbling off.
Just like it's perfect. The perfect amount of power distribution. It's like boof, boof, boof.
Yeah, everything worked.
Perfect.
Yeah,
and then
beautiful violence. Rich Franklin versus Anderson Silva 2, the finish. You want to talk about a combo that lands? That's fucking beautiful. Where he goes chop, knee, leg kick as he's starting to fold and buckle, and he's just hitting him with perfect shots, which is literally just chopping him down, and he just absolutely crumbles under the weight.
A lot of people said when Woodley got KO'd by
Nate Marquardt.
Yep.
In not even in the UFC.
Fucking elbows.
Yep. Yeah. He spins on the cage and then whack. Yep.
And a lot of people said Gustafsson Teixeira when
the uppercuts.
He landed like 3. It was 3 uppercuts.
It was 3 and then a straight right. It was whack, and then the straight right just whoa. Because he apparently got poked pretty bad in that first round, and then so Teixeira was like saying he's on autopilot, and so as the fight goes on, he's not seeing anything.
What's your greatest one walk-off KO or one-shot KO?
The walk-off. Oh, what's one where I got really shocked by it?
For stakes-wise and the heat of the moment, there will never, ever be anything better than Conor Aldo.
Conor Aldo was shocked at 13 seconds in.
Dude, like that.
I think one of the one-hitter quit. What about Rafael Sunsao versus Cody Garbrandt talking about your old mate? He backs up against the fence and then just goes, whack.
Boof. No, he goes like this.
Yeah, he ducks. Yeah, he ducks low, waits for him, and then whacks him over the top. For a one-hitter quitter, that might be one of the best.
He bent his knees to the fucking canvas and threw everything he had into it.
That was for a one-shotter.
That was fucking excellent.
That was pretty crazy.
I forgot about that.
But you want to talk about combos as well. Toporia's two of his earlier fights, his combos was some of the best combo finishing. Because I love people that do body rips to then come up top, and he does that one of the best.
Yeah, he's fucking awesome boxer.
Because against Jai Herbert, where he got hurt, but then when he finished him, and that's what the combo series leading up to the fight with Volk, they were showing his.
If Jai Herbert was a little bit better, that fight's over. Like, what a...
Oh, mate, he ate a straight shin to the face.
And, you know, a good chin. Like, he's a young fighter.
Well, that was a weight class up as well. But he did that, but it was... he's had... Because then who was the other one that he did that with, where he went, body and then overhand and just crumples him?
What's happening with... It's so random, but this is my top prospect in the UFC. He might not be a champ, but he's one of my favourite fighters at the moment.
Just to watch?
Fiziev.
Yeah.
Has he got a fight lined up?
Not that I've heard.
It's been a while.
Because what?
Because he lost to Gaethje. That was his last fight.
Yeah, no, because I watched his fight with Gamrot the other night, because Gamrot's coming up against Dos Anjos.
Was Gamrot his last fight?
It might be.
Or was it Gaethje?
It was one of them. No, Gaethje was before that, wasn't it?
And he had a...
Yeah, he lost. He lost to Gaethje because he got...
And then he got decision by Gamrot?
I think Gamrot was after, and then
he hurt him out.
And then he hurt his knee.
He hurt his knee.
He hurt his knee.
Yeah,
that's why I watched it, because I was like, oh wait, I heard this, but I know it didn't end well. And he hurt his knee, and I think that was his last fight, and then he hasn't fought since.
He's so fun to watch.
Because now you've got, but Gamrot is what, is that 299 as well, or 300? Because he's like opening the prelims on.
We will look this all up later, because we're going to go into 299 and 300.
Yeah, we will.
But actually, how fucking good was that? Is he Japanese? Nakamura?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What, his grappling? Because the dude was trying to grapple with him.
I was getting fucking tired, bro. Watching it.
Yeah.
That pace was insane.
He was just following him.
My boy from China, he won me $200.
Which bloke? The light heavyweight?
Zhang Mi Zhang. Yeah, the light heavyweight
that knocked him out in the first round.
What a bad motherfucker.
I won money on him as well.
What a bad motherfucker.
I bet for KO 1-2.
That must be the biggest man in China.
That's what I thought.
That's
light heavyweight. I was like, that's a big guy.
That's as big as they
get.
You
think the Leech was a big guy at 170, who's like a 185er?
Dude, he looks like he could go to heavyweight.
That's a big boy.
He's a big motherfucker.
Big boy. Good comments. That's why he ate the eye poke, and then the guy come forward and he's like, oh yeah, cool story. Your ref's not going to step in. Good dish. And absolutely flatlined him, run off just going, yeah.
This was the fight I was talking about. It wasn't an early prelims fight. It was a prelims fight. What's his name? Danny Barlow. White shorts.
Yes. Who did he fight?
Fucking animal. Quinlan.
That's right. And Quinlan got fucked up in that third round.
Man, that dude's like massive.
Dude had a terrible rat's tail.
He's big and he's fucking just fast.
I bet on Quinlan as the underdog because I knew who Quinlan was. I didn't know much about Barlow.
I didn't know fuck all about him, so I bet on Quinlan as well.
Yeah. And then he came in.
Because I knew Quinlan had a hard round, his hard go his last fight, but he was basically untouchable. Yeah. Until then,
he was looking good, but you just couldn't get in that length, that speed, that reach. He was just touching him up, and then no good. Yep.
But he's my top prospect.
Is that Barlow?
From that card.
You reckon Barlow was the top prospect from that card?
From that card.
You know what's good about it? I just think about that Mackenzie Dern fight. Weird that she ran off thinking that she won and celebrating. But, for her to get cracked like that and then come back and still be that dominant on the ground.
She's good. She's always going to be good to watch.
But at least... No quitting in herself, but think about all the earlier in her career. You remember, man, she was having so many weight issues, discipline issues. There was a bunch of shit going on. I mean, turning that corner, yeah, technically on the feet, she's not as proficient.
She can bang, though.
She banged, but she's got, like, as Dean Thomas, she's got that dog and everything. Like, is that a compliment?
She's like Ricky Martin. She bangs,
she bangs. But then everyone was like, that top camera view of her, though. No one wants to respect her for some skills. They just want to kind of look and be like, yeah, I don't know either, mate. But all of a sudden you go on the X's and everyone just wants to take that sky camera looking down and going, that's just good top pressure. Don't you know what good top pressure is?
Do you remember what Joey Diaz says about it? Do you remember when he got into trouble? He got cancelled.
Joey Diaz did?
Yeah.
I talk about Mackenzie Dern.
Yeah, he posted a picture of her. It was years ago when she was fighting, and he was like, "Fuck, I'd love to smell that monkey."
Of course he did. It's Joey Diaz. Anyone that doesn't know, I want to smell that monkey. That is Joey Diaz.
Smell that monkey, dog.
Get that monkey. Don't know because that was it. You had Bobby Green on the when they were doing the weigh-ins. Sheesh. Yeah, he dropped the sheesh on it, and everyone was like, "Oh no, that was bad enough for them to go. Oh, that's nice enough, but you can't go. You're gonna smell a monkey. You can't say that on a live broadcast.
It wasn't. He didn't. That's not. Do you know what's funny? That's not word for word. I'm pretty sure it was worse than that.
Probably worse, but smell a monkey is definitely a Joey Diaz quote. So we can hold to that.
But she's
a good fighter.
She just needs
I will never gamble on her again.
No, she just needs to get rid of the striking. Just learn how to take him down.
But she was trying that this time to get more. But
no one can hang with her on the ground.
It's not even the takedowns though, because she's working on the takedown. She's never really had it. But look at the skill. As soon as people decide to grapple with her on the ground, look how quickly she can reverse it.
Yeah, that's the thing. She just needs to grab people. She just needs to work on how to get in on people, get into the cage, maybe become more of like a cage fucking a Khabib.
But
Khabib never took you down in the middle of the octagon. He ran you to the fucking cage.
In the early days, that was not the case. In the early days, he was still learning, trying to do single legs, and people were defending a lot better.
When you're fucking 23, you just run in. You don't give a fuck
about
it.
That's why you have to learn along the way. All of a sudden, Mackenzie Dern, I don't think will become a Khabib like wall wrestler.
Do you know? I still think Oliveira's probably my number one pick to beat Khabib if they fought 10 times. I reckon he beats him 4.
4 out of 10?
4 out of 10.
Yeah, he could. I mean, his striking is way better. And if it goes to the ground without...
Who else would you give Khabib 4 out of 10? Or more?
Who else Tony in his prime?
Yeah, that's romantic.
That's a romantic notion. That's a romantic notion.
I used to think that too.
Conor in his prime. A lot of people think that. A lot of people think that Conor in his prime. A lot of people were very surprised at how well he did actually in that fight, and knowing the issues with his foot going into that fight.
He didn't do bad. No. Like he
did well.
People have done worse. Just the weight of the situation made it look worse.
The first 2 rounds, his counter wrestling, DC was saying he was stopping like four pathways in. Like he's stopping it every way along. And Khabib was like struggling, and then it was like
Conor was fucking. He's a good fighter, man.
Prime Conor was great.
Do you know what we're doing? Me and the boys, are gonna get absolutely blitzed, and we're gonna
makes it all the better.
We're gonna record our reaction to Roadhouse.
Where you watching it?
Here.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be on. It's not a cinema release. It's like Amazon or something.
Well, I'll be watching that too, but I might be doing that not in front of a camera and just mocking it myself.
I'm gonna get fucking blitzed to the gills, and I'm gonna watch it because do you know? I reckon it'll be fun because Conor's just playing himself.
Yeah. Exactly.
He's just at the Forged In.
It's just perfect. Yeah, this is the Saturday night the Forged In for him.
You look at Conor's life. Like he posted something today on his Instagram.
If he's not riding bloody exercise bikes on his fucking Lamborghini yacht,
why would you fight?
Why? I have no idea. Yeah,
why would you fight?
Why would you even bother? Go into the testing. Just stay on your fucking testosterone.
Good.
So, mate, you feel good. You look good. You've got a lot of money. It's the enticement. It's the what if.
The Forge In.
Yep.
Will bring his family in enough money to live forever.
Apparently that's struggle. Well, I don't know.
Everyone says everything's struggling.
I know.
Everyone wants to see
You read one article, you see one headline, and all of a sudden you think, oh, no, nothing's great for this guy.
Mate, nothing Conor's doing struggling.
I don't think so.
He's a fucking...
He's still saying, without having to fight, so why does he want to come fight if he can still be as relevant as what he is with what he's doing? Why come back and risk all that, coming back again off the broken leg? Then you've got to get back into, you've taken all the substances outside, you've fixed your leg up, you feel better for it. Why do you want to come back and fight and do a training camp, do the whole thing?
Dana said it perfectly in the press conference. Someone asked, why has it been so hard to get this fight together? And Dana just looks at him and goes, everyone tried to make a thing of it, like, oh, Dana's hiding Conor. It's like, no, it's the truth. He's like, he's fucking rich.
Yeah.
Like, you try and get him to fight.
He was doing it as he got bigger, do it on his dime already. Now you really want to take it where it's...
He's got money that people cannot fathom.
Yeah. He's got hundreds of millions of dollars.
Do you know how much money that is? Because he's obviously not loose with his money. He's invested a lot of his money.
No, he's been smart by having good people that pointed him in the right...
How much did he make off of Proper? That's a huge alcohol now.
Yeah, I think he sold
hundreds of millions.
It was hundreds. Yeah, I think it was. I don't know how much he got of it, but I think he sold it for 400 million. But I want to say that he was like a 20% owner in that whole thing.
If you tell me that he didn't earn at least 20 to 50 million for Roadhouse, I'd be shocked.
You reckon he earned that much for the movie?
Fuck no.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, I don't know, but that'll be a fun watch for you. That'll be a fun viewing party.
How much do you think he earned?
To do that movie, 4 million.
4?
Yep. Just to do a movie?
50's a lot.
To do a movie? Yeah, mate, they're not paying him like lead actor back in the day. Movies aren't making that money, especially free release to Prime. They're not fucking paying him 50 million. You out of your mind. Wouldn't even pay Jake Gyllenhaal half that.
How much do actors get paid now?
I think a lot less than what they used to, mate. They're not the megastars like they used to be.
6 to 10 million for his first movie.
There you go.
That's nothing to fucking sneeze
there
about,
you go.
though, is it?
Nothing. Well, but then again, when you've got all the money in the bank that he does.
That's your
side quest.
That's your
it's his side pieces acting.
That's your kids spending money.
He doesn't have to worry about any of it. I think it's just the mindset of the fighter. Like,
shout out to Dee Devlin, by the way.
His wife?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's put up the game.
She's put up with a lot of
shit. Do you know
shit.
why, though? She's played the game perfectly.
Well, they were together for a long time.
Do you know what?
She was a ride or die
He's
from way
fucking
back.
made it.
Yeah.
He's gone through it.
Yeah.
Let him go through it. He's the man. And do you know what? Conor, tell me a UFC fighter. Like, if I met there's probably like 10 or 20 others. But I think if I met another UFC, I'd be weird. I'd be like starstruck. But if I met Conor, I think I'd be like really like Hollywood starstruck. Do you know what I mean?
Possibly, yeah.
I think it'd be different. Like if you just bumped into Conor McGregor, would you not fucking wig out?
I don't know how I'd go, actually. Yeah, but again,
you're at the toilet.
I'm thinking of Danaher. Yeah, I'm at the toilet with Danaher, and I'd be like, woo, what am I going to do with that? No, I don't know.
Anyway, Conor, the difference with Danaher and Conor is like, you want to...
Oh, mate, you want to come to that toilet with me and maybe just have a little... Huh? Old mate Pablo over here be like, nah, sorry, mate, not this evening. Maybe in Vegas. But
so we ran through that card. Then $2.99 Sean O'Malley Cheeto. We talked about that.
We did
300. Were you mate, as let down as me?
Okay, so the main,
was a very mixed opinion.
Before we get to the main, though, the one I will talk about 300 before
I haven't even looked at the card.
It's one of the ones I've most looked forward to this whole way through, and you were talking about it before. Charles Oliveira versus Arman Sarukian.
I reckon Oliveira's just too good.
It's just everywhere it goes. I think on the feet he's a lot better.
Knock him out. Knock Oliveira out. And go and try and follow up a shot, he's going to put you in a triangle.
No, I'm not even thinking that. I think Oliveira has more weapons than Sarukian on the feet.
100%.
He's sharper. He's got more things. So Sarukian wants to start grappling with him. That's going to be close, but
just depends when
Oliveira with his skills, there's always a chance he's going to snap you in something. But it's going to be such a good fight because I went back and watched the Gamrot versus Sarukian fight and the grappling exchanges. Man.
But when do the wheels fall off?
It's always a question.
That's the question. And this year is going to be the biggest fall off in our generation's favourite fighters.
Yeah.
Because we can, like, GSP's prime and, like, fucking Velasquez's prime, they weren't my eras.
You know what was a shame? Like I was through Velasquez, and you know a shame for that was it was fucking injuries that got him.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is those fighters, even though they're GOATs, they're not my era of fighters.
Right. They were mine.
They were, yeah. See, but like
I was early. I was before Tough won, mate.
I was watching it. Like I was watching when Rashad was in his fucking prime. But
I was into it.
My era of fighters is like the Khabibs, the Connors, the fucking.
Nah, I was earlier than that.
Prime Ferguson's
That's where we differ, because I remember saying my favourite and I was talking about Frank Mir.
That's unbelievable. That's just unbelievable. He'd break your shit, though.
I could still say he was one of my favourites, because when I got into it, it was watching him, and I don't know what it was, but it was watching submission artists that would break your shit.
Yeah.
And that is what he did. He was one of the most famous ones for being a big guy that had a small guy's guard, and he would break your shit apart.
Do you know what's weird? There's some kids out there right now that have just been introduced to MMA, and Sean O'Malley's their goat.
Yeah.
Like, but do you know, I'm not throwing shade to Sean or anything, because he's an amazing fighter.
It's called recency bias.
It's weird. It's like, I remember one day I was drinking with, this was years ago, I was drinking with some kids from work. They were 18, 19, and we went to the tab and we got hammered, and we all ended up back at my house and we were talking, and I was like, so who's like your your rap goat? Like, who's you reckon the best rappers alive?
Yeah.
And one of them said Juice WRLD.
Oh, no.
And I was like, what's that? Oh. It was like a group, and he's like, nah, Juice WRLD. He's and I was like,
no idea.
That was the moment I realised, I was like, oh, I'm not 18 anymore.
Nah,
I'm fucking
where the generation gone by,
yeah.
mate. Yeah, it skips.
It's wild.
Oh, I've had that, a few times through, and I just realised I've known for a long, like with fighting, that's when I look
like
and I go, bloody hell, I've been into this for a while.
Like no one's gonna remember a lot of fighters.
If you haven't watched it and you want to watch a classic fight, Caro Parisian versus GSP.
Oh my God, Parisian used to be a fucking
because he was a judo like world class level judo guy. Their grappling exchanges was a really good fight, and you're talking UFC 50s.
That was whenever there was a grappling moment, people used to just boo.
They'd boo, and they weren't booing this fight because that was Caro the Heat Parisian. He was so good. He was another one I really liked watching because he was a mad hatter as well. He'd just come at you swinging, not great striking, but he would just come forward, get a hold of you, dump you on your head. Him versus Diego Sanchez, where he judo tossed him straight on his head, and then Diego kneed him and he knocked his veneer right out of his mouth.
So you show a fresh 16 to 18-year-old MMA fan that's just been introduced a picture of Fedor.
They'd have no idea. They'd have no idea.
They'd have no idea.
Yeah.
Do you know who the only one who everyone will know? And that's why the GOAT discussion is not even a discussion in my mind. It's John Jones. 3 generations of fucking fighters.
Yeah.
3.
Because when you get in early enough and you're the champ, and you break the records to be the youngest champ, and then you hold on all the way through, and then you just go up because you're so good, you just go up to heavyweight because you're like, man, whatever, I'll just do that so I can win more titles.
I reckon he beats Aspinall.
I think he probably could, yeah.
Do you know why?
Still, but
do you know why? Because you can't see him losing.
Nah. Well, the thing is will he want to fight again, knowing that that's the legacy he's going to put up? He doesn't have to.
He's got to beat Stipe, and then he's going to have officially the best resume anyone's ever seen. Because for people who weren't tuned in, fucking light heavyweight. When Jones was running
when he come in, that's when that was the mega leagues.
That was what
lightweight
and what has been the last 8 years.
Yeah,
but better because everyone was on steroids.
Yeah. Back light heavyweight was the golden division back at that time. That was the Chuck Liddells, the Tito's, but coming out of that was when they were starting to fade off and people were coming up.
I wonder how much Tito Ortiz's fire shorts are worth.
Probably a fair bit. Frame up. Classic.
How much are you paying for
Punishment Athletics?
If you got some indisposable income, what piece of MMA memorabilia are you grabbing? Indisposable income.
The bit of bone fragment that got snapped out of Nogueira's arm when Frank Mir snapped it.
That's really specific. That's fucking too specific, mate.
That's gross as well. Bone fragment.
I want the shorts Derek Lewis took off when his balls was hot.
His balls was hot. And then he does it the second time. He starts doing the DX.
Do you reckon there's how much do you reckon, say, McGregor's glove from Aldo would be worth? Like his actual glove. He would maybe have it, but how much?
10 grand?
You'd say only 10?
Maybe 10.
I guess it's still a niche sport.
Isn't it? Yeah, it's not like I heard stories about like a hitter in Major League Baseball, and that's like $1 million. They sell like a ball that was the third home run of some World Series shit, and they sell for like $1 million. Like UFC ain't that.
Have you been on UFC.com? UFCmerchandise.com or whatever, the official website.
For the merch, no.
Oh my god, they sell bits of the canvas in acrylic with blood on it.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. So if there's
they sell the names to put on it. So now they'll give you actual blood canvas.
They've done it for a while. Say they had the Robbie Lawler Rory McDonald fight.
Oh, you got his
You could get a piece of the canvas with the blood on it.
Bit of his deviated septum and his nose got smushed.
I think it's like $300.
That's fucked up.
And you can buy people's lockers.
They're lockers,
like the whole locker of their.
Well, that's still temporary. That's weird. Yeah, well, I'm not into memorabilia.
Either am I.
I don't know stuff like that.
But I want to get into shout out to this dude I'm getting on the podcast. Did you see that Tyson Beck? I shared his Volkanovski card.
No.
He makes professional. He's very artistic, and he makes mostly basketball, NFL cards.
Yeah.
Like playing cards, but they're very well done and they're worth a lot because he makes limited drops. Mm-hmm. He made a Volkanovski card in the lead up to the Topuria fight, but they're all hand signed.
Oh, yeah.
And fuck, that was so cool. Oh. It was like this.
Are you trying to get one?
No, I couldn't do it. Because the one I wanted sold out because they sell out in seconds. But MMA is still pretty niche. But the NBA ones, they will sell out in fucking 2 seconds.
Yeah. I used to be the NBA card collector back in my much younger days. I still remember I had a Shaq Future Shock card. I don't even know how important that was until you realize they're scuffed up, and once they're scuffed,
bro, do you remember Tarzos?
Yeah, Tarzos and Pogs were before that, man. Pogs were before Tarzos.
I looked up Tarzos the other day because I was having a nostalgia night.
We all have those.
I got a bit toasty, and I was like, You remember? And I was like, fucking looking up shit, and Tarzos are worth like a few grand now.
I thought I had a lot more. I still have a canister of like Tarzos and cards and stuff. No, they're open.
You look like the motherfucker that wouldn't play with shit though.
I don't. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah. That's why I'm holding on to these. What's these stupid new ones now? The fucking characters that you get in the box, pops.
Bro, if you could go back to...
I get specific niche pops and I hold them and I keep... They're better just sitting in the box and taking them out anyway, so I just leave them sitting like that. But mine is a very niche series that I enjoy.
Dude,
it's a bit of a laugh for me and I'm trying to collect them. That's my weird little collection thing at the moment.
If I was like a kid again, if I had the knowledge I have now, but I was like 5 years old... Whenever my parents bought me a pack of like Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Ohs, they'd think I'm fucking autistic, bro, because I would put those shit away and never play with it.
Oh my god. That's why people do it now, mate. And you sell them off and you buy a pack for like $1,000. You're like, Jesus.
You know there's a Mario game that went for like £1.5 million?
Yeah, see, I didn't know that, but that doesn't surprise me.
Does it upset you though?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, because I used to be like, you used to blow in those motherfuckers. Yeah, of
course. You got to get them to work.
Do you know what's funny?
StarCraft, classic game.
One of the people I work with the other day, they're like, "Do you have a fucking VHS player?"
VHS.
And I was like, "No, I don't."
No,
she's
like,
gone, I got all these VHSs I want to burn onto CD.
Good luck.
And I was like, I actually don't know anyone that has
VHS players are very rare, and you got to digitize, otherwise that shit's gonna go.
And then this other worker's like, "What's a fucking VHS?" I'm like, "Don't even fucking start me." Cunt.
That's why. Yep. That'll show the gap.
Walkman? You ever had a Walkman?
Try running. Have you ever tried running with a Walkman? You all think it's so easy. You've got your phone with your noise cancelling headphones. You go run now. What about when you're trying to run with a Discman?
And then I was just gonna say, then they bring the fucking Discman in, and do you remember the little mini discs they used to bring out?
Yeah, they were awful. It was all awful.
You remember when you were watching porn when you were a kid and fucking someone tried to call the house and the internet went down?
You definitely do.
You're fucking 12 years old on MSN. You're trying to get one in, and then just someone calls the house and just ruins it.
Yeah, he's trying to download shit on like streaming services back then, mate. Morpheus.
You were a Morpheus user.
I was a Morpheus user.
I was a LimeWire user.
Nah, I was never too sophisticated with that whole stuff.
It used to take 25 minutes to download.
It was so long. And then you wait, you're like, I'm not waiting a day. You got to wait a day to download a 300 megabyte fucking file.
If I have to wait literally 20 seconds plus for an ad, I'm moving on. You're going on, video.
I know. Dude, again, TikTok society, our attention span, and you're talking about blokes that knew what it was like before that, where we're all getting corrupted.
Oh, bro, I'm fucked.
We're getting corrupted.
And we were just talking about this before the podcast. Tom never saw Sora.
No.
Oh, dude.
So
it's the end. It's the end.
He's going to go in. We're going into open AI and AI research.
I'm so surprised you're not up to date with all this shit, dude.
I watched some of your guests on this podcast that have come from the software development.
Shout out to Ravi Hammond.
Ravi Hammond was the big one, and then whoever you just had on last time, which you met up on LinkedIn.
Mr. Kovash.
Yep. So that was good episodes, but really talking about people that work in the industry. Shout out to Adelaide. Apparently, I didn't know software development in Adelaide is actually quite a big thing. So that's
game development and software development in general is massive in Adelaide. Yeah, there's a game called Cherry Studios. It's this game called...
I didn't know you guys went so niche. There was things you were talking about. Some of those games...
I'm deep into games.
But yeah...
I like watching.
But the what you were describing, where it's like, unless you're into it, but what it can do, like how involved, like you describe it as a game, you're like, that sounds ridiculous, until you do it in virtual reality. And you're like, oh, then you're so engrossed in this world because all your senses are tuned in. It's not just... audio visual, which is the games you'd play with your hand and a little bit somatic to play like that, but all of a sudden when it's all encompassing, it's a totally different thing.
The last experience I personally had with VR was the PlayStation VR, and it was good, but you could tell you weren't there.
Yeah.
He brought me this device with no cords. It was just you put it on your head, a Quest, and I played a game in here, and it was what they call mixed reality. It's VR and AR. So I was looking at my shed as it was my shed, but I had a gun in my hand.
Yeah.
And I could shoot my shed and it would make holes, and I was on an alien world and these aliens were trying to get into my shed.
Oh, really?
And I was like, what the fuck? And it full...
Oh, that's too trippy.
But then you can have YouTube up here listening to a podcast. Like it was insane.
That would blow your marbles, yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck?
Oh.
But think about like technology. The first iPhone would have been 20 years ago.
More.
2004. Yeah, maybe late, maybe earlier. Maybe earlier. Maybe like 18 years ago.
Yeah, something like that. Something around that.
Anyway,
time.
Around the early 2000s, the iPhone came out. Yeah. It was just a brick. It was Apple Music. What do they used to call them? When we used to just have the Apple Musics.
Oh, yeah. Well,
an iPod.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Oh, that's so weird. Dude, kids won't know about iPods.
Dude, iPods.
Apple originally was just an iPod.
We go back to the Discman.
MP3s.
Yeah, you got a big Discman. This was the first thing. It's a little storage device that's, only so big. And you could just clip it or sit it in your pocket with a basic cable. And then there was no skipping. There was no nothing. That's why as a runner, it was the best thing for me, because all of a sudden when I didn't have to download podcasts and watch them direct through the computer, and I went through the iTunes, figured out how to download it onto the iPod, and then could go running, listening to all the music and thank you, sir, and all the...
Feel free to use the stubby holder.
Man, get some stubblies on here. But yeah, back in the running days, mate, before what I've been going through recently, not being able to do anything physical because of...
How is that going?
I got my stitches out today. So
what was it? It wasn't staph, was it?
I had staph on my elbow that went to an infection on my back into a benign cyst. And
I was going to say you had a cyst.
I had a cyst. They had to get the cyst cut out, and then
did you keep it?
No, they threw it away immediately. As soon as they did it, you want to look at it? Yep, there it is. Throw it away. I've had stitches. They just took it a few days. It's still bandaged up. Should be done, hopefully within a week, but that's about 5 weeks I've been off.
Not been able to break you've had in a while.
Since my foot.
Yeah, right. I remember your foot.
Since I came off a ladder and got rebar through my foot.
Did Will pop your foot out once?
No.
Who was that at the gym?
He hurt. I think he hurt Moody. He hurt Moody or Conway.
I remember that.
No, Diego Caruso. He popped Caruso's knee because Caruso come down for a light roll. And Will was there, and it was early days of starting up, and he was getting in, and I was like, "Nah, it's cool." And then he rolled with Will, and Will popped his knee.
Shout out to Will, the greatest fucking white belt.
Go back to there's been stories told about Will. He was
the greatest. One of my good friends who's not with us. Greatest white belt who's ever lived.
Greatest white belt leg locker because he was the early adopter. He was the early adopter, mate. He was getting people before people knew what leg locks were.
Oh fucking hell! But so. Back to what we were saying, you imagine in 20 years what VR is going to be like.
It's going to be nuts, yeah.
What game would you go into? You're fully immersed, smells, scent.
Assassin's Creed.
That's such a Tom answer. Which one? Like the early ones?
Oh, yeah.
You'd be in that Altair.
Yeah. Origins or Odyssey. Ancient Greece or Ancient Egypt.
Yasmin fucking... So she bought me a PS5.
I don't want to go back to even Baghdad in 1100.
They just did one in.
That's why I just finished.
Did you play it?
Yeah, I finished it.
Good.
No, but it's slower. I liked Odyssey and Origins more. I like the style more of those ones.
Yasmin bought me a PS5, and I was like, okay, cool, but I don't really play games anymore.
Yeah.
Like I was at the time.
You got to find time. Then you got to. Yeah,
I didn't have the. But then she bought Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah, I had that one. I didn't put as much hours into that.
I remember she got the game, and she's a sweat. Like, she used to fucking play a lot of games, but I'd never seen it before.
Yeah.
And she played this game.
Didn't you say like...
Maybe 60, 70 hours in 1 week.
In a week?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Oh, that's...
Like, I would leave...
days on end,
I'd leave work... And I would leave work.
She was building up that bakery and building up that potions palace, and all of a sudden she was getting all the attributes.
I'd come home after 13 hours of work, and she would still be there playing. She's sweating Sims right now, but just like
Sims,
she's a grinder.
Classic.
She's a grinder. I've got the.
Has she not found mobile games yet? Otherwise, don't let her do microtransactions. Don't let her do microtransactions. We were talking about your. Let her stick with those games, mate.
We were talking about your
what, mate?
Your game.
Leave it. Leave Marvel Strike Force out of this. All right.
Marvel Strike Force. How's this? This fucking gatekeeper. I remember on our last fucking podcast, I was like, "Oh, what's the game?" He's like, "It's too late to get into it, bro."
Yeah. I'm 4 years in, mate. The game's been out for 5 years.
You fucking Robert Whittaker me.
Yeah.
Just gatekept me from the title. I just fucking was like, I just asked him. I was like, "Oh, so like, what's it?" He's like, "There's no point."
Because I've watched we view things when you get into things, right? You watch it, you play the game, you view content about it, you look at your level, you're like, I wouldn't even start if I were you, mate. Just don't even get caught down this fucking rabbit hole. Find a different fucking road to go down.
It's like starting jiu-jitsu as a white belt.
That's still good. I'm going to say shout out to a guy that started training at the gym that I knew from my soccer days, Judd. He'd only been training. He came in before I've had this time off. I'd only seen him for a week, but he'd been training for about 2 weeks at the gym. I knew him from soccer days.
Animal?
So, yeah. He's super athletic. He would always outrun me on everything. And so that was the fight. And then he's gotten into this. He's my age. So he's, 35. He's just like, I want to go do this. Been training a month. He went and did the M16 Open.
You win?
He won he won one.
Were you training everyone that day? Because you were in the corner for a while,
Yeah. I just knelt by the mat and everyone M16. Because Miles was reffing.
Yeah.
Malazzo was reffing. Rachel scoring.
You got a good mind for coaching. Would you have ever thought about it?
Yeah, I don't mind. I like coaching. People say
Do you ever take over any nights at M16?
I was helping out with Mondays. Well, I'd do the Mondays fundamentals. I'd just help out. I'd be the uki for the most part.
I'd feel like you'd be good, but your probably vice is you go too deep into it.
No, here's the thing.
White belts, you might not be digestible to white belts.
That's where I try and navigate, because when you're coaching, it's white belts and blue belts that need the help the most.
But you also got to simplify it.
You can't get too technical.
Yeah, which you're a very technical kind of guy, so you probably have to tone it down a little bit.
Yeah, I can't give him technical advice. It's happening too quick.
But
you know who's great at that? Moody for me. Like, he's
very good at dumbing it down.
But he was giving what we talked about, coaching, and in the corner, the fire. You bring the fire, giving a competitor. So not even just your fighter, giving your competitor what they need. Moody was great with that, with energy level, technical advice, but just bringing consistency, bringing energy, like to. Not just relax on your laurels. Like, that's hard to bring out of people. You hard to know what to say, that what they find useful. It's a difficult, it's difficult waters to navigate. Because it's like I can yell out technical advice, but if they don't know, they won't pay attention. There's too much going on for me to give them super technical step by step.
You need to give them the advice they need.
Yeah. All I can be is like, watch the hand. Miles laughed at me because...
suck his dick.
No, because Miles called it as well. So the guy, there was a takedown, and the guy landed in a buggy choke, and I went, watch out for the buggy choke. And Miles at the same time, like, he come over and laughed, and then after the match he goes, it took everything for me not to fucking want to say it to him, because he wants it. He can't seem biased. He's the one reffing the match. But then as I was kneeling there, as soon as I go, watch the buggy, because you could just see the movement from the side, and the guy doesn't know that you're going to be in that much danger if you don't get out of it.
And in Declan, you can also tell that he also actually legitimately cares a lot.
Yeah, big
like
time.
He anyone who invests time into he cares.
Passionate, man. It's passionate.
And by the way, when this episode comes out, I'm going to be in Melbourne.
Yep.
Shooting some content for Hex.
Yeah, we are. Well, and by we, I mean you.
I'm
just happy for you. No, I'm just happy for him. Yeah, you got the call up. This is what you've been working for, to get a bit of a gig for Australian fight promotions.
It's dope because what's Homeboy's name? Fuck, I forgot his name. He is one of the best Australian commentators in the game. He just did Matthew Stevens' fight in Abu Dhabi. He's a weapon of a commentator. And I'm going to catch up with him. I'm going to talk to Australian MMA. Shout out to Mitch from Australian MMA, the most engrossed person in Australian MMA culture.
Nice.
And we're going to have a chat. He's got a ripper channel if you haven't seen it.
Oh, there you go. It's all coming.
So I'm going to meet up with all these guys in the scene.
Beautiful.
And just fucking feed off of them.
Beautiful.
I'm not there as a journalist.
Nah.
I'm literally doing my thing.
Sav's going to be the Nina.
I'm going to be the Nina of fucking...
Yeah, the Nina of Australian
Dude,
MMA.
and do you know
Let's go.
How good is she?
Dude, she's great. For content for you to want to watch, she is...
She understands her lane.
There's a job that everyone plays. Exactly.
She's not a fucking analyst. Like, she's just...
Got to find your spot, mate.
She's really good at content, like, just content in general. But her and Sean Strickland's relationship is very questionable.
She just made the name off it. But then look at what she did, because then she started doing content with Marab, and people were loving that. She's doing good shit.
She's honestly, and do you know what? Shout out to Laura Sanko as well.
Laura Sanko's always great. But let's be honest, though. Nina's a Dana White cuck, though, yeah?
Oh, she's going to oil him up.
Yeah. She didn't even oil him up, though.
She didn't.
Where was that oil?
But she's played the game very well, and she's done a very good job of it.
Oh, yeah.
She is probably...
I don't know how she got into that spot, because that's the question. People are like, where did she come from?
She's very pretty. Like, she's a pretty... And she does know about the sport. She obviously follows the sport.
She follows the sport.
She cares about the sport.
She does.
I don't know if her partner's involved in the sport, but she does have a partner.
Yeah, I saw that.
She's very engrossed in MMA.
Definitely.
She knows that she might not know the technical aspects of it as well as some other journalists.
Yeah.
But
look at the lane you can find yourself in.
She's
where do you come from with
honestly, the female version of the schmo.
Don't say that around Helen, then Helen will get all upset because they're together. They got the power couple. Yeah, I don't think they're beefing, but it's just funny. To find your way and find your market.
The schmo is such a. I think he's trying to break away from that character a bit more.
Here's one to tie in with that though. MMA Guru. What's going on with him? He's getting big, man. There's a lot of talk around MMA Guru now, being bigger than some fighters. Him talking shit, but here's the issue: if you're in the analyst community, you're in the online
don't
Twitter, and you start talking shit onto the
fighters. Like
you're talking to the fighters, like you make your content off of these guys.
Like you have to be really objective as a journalist.
It gets a little squirrely.
That's
when
why
it starts going that way.
I don't really like listening to Ariel because I feel like he has great insights, but I also feel like he has personal vendettas on certain people.
I don't know I think he's been in it so long. It's not so much vendettas, but he definitely tries
experiences. He's had rough experiences with certain people. He does keep it very professional all the time.
Yeah.
But when he talks about certain things and certain people,
he's slanted in one way or another.
Yeah.
Everyone's biased in their own way, mate. Especially if you've been burnt. You've been in the industry that long.
Do you know who I think is the best MMA commentator and best MMA content creator?
Who?
This dude called the Weasel.
Oh yeah, you told me about the Weasel.
100%. That dude. I don't know if he's a fighter. No one's ever seen his face. I would love to do a podcast with him. Mm-hmm. I've never heard anyone break down MMA how he breaks it down.
Yeah.
Ever.
This one's not even a... But he does so good. He does YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah. The one I think of and my X feed is starting to tune to fight analysis, which is great. So the algorithm's finally coming into where it's working for me. But Miguel Class on X is fucking one of the best.
I don't really go on X.
One of the best thread content creators for why certain fight styles and styles worked because of what Miguel Class.
Miguel Class, Miguel.
Yep, and and he does wicked threads and little GIF videos and snippets of the combo they were throwing,
I'm more
breaking
YouTube
down.
orientated.
Yeah,
I also like Luke Thomas.
Luke Thomas is good. Luke Thomas is good for the snap calls and
he's a bit of a cockhead though.
I'm following like the X account has now changed. Like might just be my preference. Yeah, threads. Like a good thread about fighting, about history, about science, history, philosophy of science, all these things. Some people, man, that's why I said YouTube, you got your subscriptions because they make quality videos. The way you can hit a certain market where you're trying to say this for time wise.
The Weasel though, his videos aren't like, they're literally just slides of photos.
Yeah.
Like it's just him talking.
Yeah.
It could basically be a podcast.
Yeah.
Like his videos aren't amazingly edited.
Yeah.
It's just what he's saying is so legit. He would be an amazing judge. Like you look at him and it's like, oh, you understand MMA. He does, whenever there's a close call in a fight, he does a robbery review, and he has like, what is it? Light, medium, heavy strikes.
Right.
And he tallies every fucking round and he goes by the criteria.
Yeah, it's a
and he's
guy
like, this person actually won.
Yeah.
And that's how, but obviously it's a lot harder when shit's going down at the time.
Yeah.
It's very easy. Hindsight's 20/20.
Of course.
But he is probably
one of the best for that.
One of his channels very big too.
Yeah.
Probably one of the biggest channels on YouTube for MMA. He has a very diehard audience.
I'm just happy when you come across just great channels like that where all of a sudden it's content that you want to watch and then it only got released like a month ago. And
MMA now is a hot... It's like it's a viral thing, so there's a lot of shit to sift through.
I've seen one, and the best thing is like highlights or a package put together and it's like 30 to 40 minutes long and it's got 2 million views and it's a fight package. That's when I know it's like, dude, this thing's a barn burner.
Oh, I can't remember what video it is, but I watched a whole breakdown of John Jones' career the other day, and whoever made it
does a great job.
Oh my god!
See, they do so good with that stuff now. That's what I'm saying. That's what I've been saying to you for a long time. Some of the YouTube content creators, their ability to snippet it. I watched one on
it was a 40-minute video.
Yeah, this was Nick Diaz's boxing. His phenomenal boxing. It was on YouTube.
It might be the same guy.
And this was like 50 minutes, and it was snippets of all his best boxing combos and spliced in about why things were working. And it's not just analysis by him; it's all just the running commentary.
It might be the same guy.
Because it's just some people can do it really well.
He put a 45-minute video together of John Jones, and it was like I knew the story, but it was like I was watching it for the first time.
Exactly. That's when they make a good story. It's like you know all the details, but it's like you watch it for the first time.
It was just phenomenal. It was like, oh, John Jones was this, his brother was this. Yep. Like it went into his childhood, which you don't really hear much about.
Yeah, no.
And it was like fucking hell. They were just destined for greatness. All of them.
All of them. Yeah, they're all kind of crazy in their own way. To excel at anything, right? To get to exceed at that level.
I need to piss out my cock.
All right,
let's get it.
Pausing.
Oh. Beep boop.
Back in.
We're back. So we are gonna. You need another one?
Nah, I'm good.
You good?
Yeah, got these here. All good to go, mate.
Fuck, I need to.
We were talking about John Jones. Sorry about the piss break, but these things happen when we're having a cheeky Friday night.
We were talking about John Jones, but
good quality online content that's very good. Even when you know the story, some people are putting these together very well. That even when you know it, that's what I was going to bring up. It's just we talk about Brian Redband. That's what made him famous for working with Rogan was his video editing skills. Redband.
Yeah, he does.
It was his video editing, which he stopped doing because when he got into podcasting that heavy, he couldn't do it because of how he talks about how time consuming it is to do really quality, high level like video editing.
Well, I imagine Redband is good at his job. I just remember him from the podcast, so he's just a piece of shit.
He was a silly goose.
Yeah, but in the best way. In the best way.
Oh, he was so. Because what was the restaurant that he kept
punching back? Oh, fucking
the restaurant that he always dropped.
Oh,
he always had silly things that he dropped in the episodes.
Was it
Olive Garden?
Olive Garden. And Joe Rogan.
Joe was so pissed by the end. He was getting so off it by the end.
I remember when Joe one night was like, "What's your fucking obsession with Olive Garden?"
You mean Olive Garden? Shut up, man. Shut up right now. Yeah. Oh. That's dropping a nugget, a morsel of the old Rogan days.
Oh, it's still. Do you know? I wouldn't be able to tell you his last 10 guests.
His last 10 guests? Yeah, I could. So podcast.
Is anything notable?
He's still pretty. Yeah, he's still good at what he does. Of course, he's the biggest guy on there.
He always will be the best. But like when you have a podcast, you surprisingly just don't have time to listen to podcasts.
It's true. When you've got a when you've got a podcast, you try and do it. You've got something you have to be involved in.
I used to listen to like 8 hours of podcasts a day.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
and that's not exaggerating.
Yeah, I can't do that.
You get addicted to it.
You know, I could tell you the last one recently with a Rogan guest, and what I've gotten into recently is a podcast called Modern Wisdom with Chris Williamson. He's been on Rogan very recently.
Yes,
he had Eric Weinstein on very recently.
He's got like one of the biggest podcasts in the world.
It's Matt blowing up. It's almost up there with Lex. Now.
Everyone's saying Lex is so good.
Yeah,
but everyone's saying
he's very good at what he does.
Is he a pom? No, he's not a pom.
He's a pom.
Is he?
He's a pom that lives in America now.
I was pretty sure I was hearing people comment. It's literally the English Joe Rogan.
You know James Smith as well?
Yes.
Yeah, they're in partnership. They have a whole thing together as well.
Do you know what shits me? And I don't know why it shits me, but it really, really shits me.
What shits you, Sav?
Have you seen that? What's that woman, Bobby Alanatov?
Who?
Yeah, who?
That's I don't know. In what realm are we talking about? Where is she? Is she busy on the socials?
No. She absolutely. What the fuck is going on? One second.
Holding. He's hearing sound difficulties.
That's my mic. Okay. That's better.
Oh, okay. There we go. Found it back.
Is that better for you?
Yeah. Feel right.
That's better.
Good.
Her like third podcast was Drake.
Oh, I hadn't heard about that.
She wasn't famous.
Yeah. Where'd she come from?
Nowhere.
Oh.
Like
she's a psyop.
No, she's a fucking industry plant.
She's a plant.
No, but like actually, because I don't know, she's got great management, but fucking
those management skills.
Do you know how her whole shtick is that she's a cunt?
Okay.
Like she's like she it's not more of a podcast, it's her like demeaning the guests.
Really?
But in like a funny, it's pretty like in a funny way. Like she's very awkward.
Okay, so I think I'm
she plays a character.
You know how Zach Galifianakis does it on that?
Two fans.
Yep.
Yeah,
So, similar,
no,
different?
but not as funny.
Not as funny. Yeah.
Because she's not Zach Galifianakis. He's funny.
Colbert before he became too woke.
She's done like Mark Cuban. Mm-hmm. She did massive, that was her like 5th podcast.
Oh, bloody hell. How does she have access? Yeah, how does she have access to all these
That's
people?
why everyone says she's an industry plant. Yeah, but she could have just caught the wave and people caught wind to it.
5th episode, you're going Drake into Mark Cuban?
No, her like 3rd episode was Drake.
That's
it's like, do you know how annoying it is? I fucking put so much effort into I don't have a team of people.
Nope, not a team.
I don't have a team.
One man sav.
This is one man. I don't know how to use a computer. I still don't know how to use a fucking computer.
You can't call yourself computer illiterate anymore, mate. I've seen you messing with the dials and figuring out sound systems and video cameras.
That's what you see. My fucking missus sees me smashing my head into a wall, bite my tongue.
I couldn't handle it, mate. I see what it's like. It's a bit of work that goes into the organisation of it all.
Fucking, but I just.
So when podcasts then take off, or what is it that connects? Because
I think I got in too late.
No, it's a saturated market, mate.
I think I got in. Do you know why? Because I remember me and Will wanted to start a podcast.
Yeah.
Like 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Me and Will wanted
12 years. So Fighter and the Kid has been on for like 12 years. No, Rogan's been on for 12 years. So you were.
No. Will used to. I didn't know what a podcast was.
Yeah.
I never watched it.
No, the podcasts were not a thing. 12 years ago.
I didn't watch podcasts 12 years ago.
That was the birthing.
Will used to watch it when it was Death Squad.
Yeah,
and he used to
Death Squad TV.
Will was savvy. He used to have bitcoins when they were worth fucking $60.
Oh yeah,
and we used to use them to buy fucking drugs.
Yep, earlier on the black
on the black market.
Yeah, the black market.
And Will used to have like 50 fucking bitcoins, dude.
Yeah.
And he knew, but it used to be a headache to buy them online. Will was a savage online.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Podcast's gonna take off, man."
Yeah.
Podcast's gonna take off.
I knew it back then. I was listening, going, "This is going to be the new media." No one wants to listen to what radio has become. And look, podcasts do have to work that way with advertisements because for them to be profitable, but everyone has an ability and an option to do it. But to make it profitable is one thing. But what do people want to tune into? They want to tune in to good content, something to say. You got something to clean that up with. You got to do with it. But it's
Jesus Christ! I need a towel in here.
Yeah, he's had a spillage, and
no, we're all good.
Not looking for the towel.
Do you have a lighter?
Yeah,
that I gave you.
The lighter was probably back in the box.
Oh my god! In the box.
It's gone back.
What's in the box? In the box. What's in the box today? Do you remember? Do you remember Play School?
Play School?
Yeah.
Oh man, that is babyish.
Is that what's in the box?
I don't know. Is that what? Play School in Sesame Street, mate, with the kids' cartoon.
Nah, Sesame Street used to freak me out.
Why?
I don't know. Pinocchio did too. I just didn't like him.
Pinocchio did.
Used to weak me out, bro. That live action one they had back in the day. Do you remember that?
Go on the old Jordan Peterson trip with Pinocchio and all the tales and stories of mythologies.
Before we got onto the lighter, where are we going?
Nowhere. Where are we going?
I was talking about Bobby Alanoff, whatever the fuck her name is.
Yeah, because she's got something successful and the work that you have to, like, how lightning in a bottle.
And do you know what?
Those moments happen throughout everything. And like you said, you got into a saturated market of a podcast, but you knew about it. But again, like everything, you know about Bitcoin early. You hear about early adopters.
Mate, you hear
a lot of things are written about early adopters, the ones that actually took the leap, put in the work, because it's not easy. You've seen how hard it is to set it up.
Do you know what's funny? When I was, I don't remember how old I was, 19, 18, 20, to buy this house as a rental property, because this house originally was my rental property.
Yeah.
And I just moved in.
Yeah, you did.
When I was younger, I was tossing up between a house here and a house in Mount Compass. But the house in Mount Compass...
Massive block.
Yeah, but it was like, who wants to live in Mount Compass?
It's a long way away.
Who wants to live there?
That's a fair way out there.
Now, same house, easy $1 million. Yeah. Easy.
Well, because that's
like and cheaper than here.
Yeah, that's in the weekend lands up there, but it's getting so big that they're changing the roadways.
Like you were saying, lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
Like just and social media. The thing that really differs with me with other podcasts in Australia is I don't want to be a short form content podcast.
Yeah.
Because I know fucking every podcast analytics from here to Perth.
Yeah.
I look at them and obsess over them.
Of course you do.
I do every night. I will obsess over it.
We all have our
because I
things.
will fucking obsess over numbers because I want to know what everyone's doing because I'm a competitor.
It's the only numbers you care about other than gambling numbers
100%.
on your bank account.
Yeah, but I will research it.
Yeah.
There are podcasts that have 100,000 subscribers on TikTok that get 1 million views on a short, and you go on their YouTube and they got 100 subscribers and 4 views on their videos.
I've seen that. I've seen like views on your YouTube, and then knowing how much you like downloads, and then trying to understand downloads compared to videos. So you like, and again, metrics on YouTube between different platforms. So how many people like different ears that are actually. So I was trying to describe this.
I want podcasters. I want people that listen to podcasts to listen to my podcast.
Yeah. You know what? Easily listening. The thing is just you can do it. And it's like you listen to a conversation. It's like someone sitting through the computer. But it's at the end of the table.
It's
like
different
they can jump
to
in on any of it.
The short form content. You might get a clip in your thing that goes viral, but no one's carrying over to your. But that's obviously not their strategy. I've always loved long form podcasts and YouTube.
That's what got me into it. Long form podcasts.
But it's not for everyone. Not everyone listens to a 3-hour episode.
No, of course not.
I would not go to the next episode of a podcast until I've listened to 100% of the previous.
Oh, really?
I would never. I'd listen to the whole podcast.
I have. I mean, I've gone through plenty of podcasts though that I didn't get through all of them.
I used to fuck with do you know whose podcast I used to listen to a heap, but I don't listen to it. I haven't listened to it in maybe like 8 months. Weighing in, Josh Thompson and
with Big John McCarthy.
Big John.
No, I never got onto that. I mean, early back in the day, I was listening to Ariel a bit.
See, I used to go Ariel, Weighing In, then I used to go Morning Combat with Luke Thomas.
Yep.
And then I used to fucking obviously listen to Rogan.
Yep.
And then I would listen to Schwab.
Yep.
So my whole week was just MMA.
Yeah.
My whole week.
Yeah. I was always kind of all over the shop. You realize how much you listened to back then to how much I listen to now. It's not the same.
I like watching podcasts.
Yeah, it's a way to do it. I can't do it like that because if I'm listening to a podcast, I'm either driving.
But in bed?
No.
I've always been a dude. I love falling asleep to the sound of a TV. Or like sound of noise. I don't like quiet.
No.
I've always liked falling asleep to TV.
Yeah.
So I used to like watching initially Rogan's podcast on YouTube because I like the visuals.
That's how I started it because it was also then you're sitting at the table. You've got a seat at the table. You're watching them change back and forth and you're having the convo. You're looking at the reactions.
And it's different. You're seeing their face. You're seeing it's a different experience.
Yeah, exactly.
But I can sit there and tune into something for 2 hours and not break attention. Like a lot of people can't.
Yeah.
I can sit there for 2.5 hours and just tunnel vision into something.
Now, have you ever thought about that when you get to the end of that 2.5 hours where you've had tunnel vision and then you get out of it and someone gone, so how was that drive? Yeah, good. What were you doing? Listen to this.
Wow.
What were you listening to? Tell me about it. How much would you actually be able to reiterate?
Yeah. Do you know what's weird about it?
That's what, because I do that an hour every morning. It's like, if someone asked me about this, how much would I be able to actually tell them?
I say this always. The worst thing about me doing the clips and everything for the podcast, this is the only reason I want to produce it, is because directly after this podcast, I won't remember anything we talked about. Because
something will hit you when you watch it back.
I'm doing this.
There's a lot going on.
Like, there's a lot going on, and I'm not someone who retains knowledge from talking.
Yeah.
I'm a very practical learner.
Yeah.
So I will, if I'm practically doing something, I will learn it. But taking in knowledge and just storing it, that's not how I do that. I can't do it.
Yeah.
But see, Joe, he is phenomenal at reciting information.
Yeah, whatever he holds it to be able to bring forth that as he's having a convo, he can bring whatever's relevant.
For the amount of information he has from different fields, it's phenomenal.
Yeah. very broad. It's a lot of breadth.
It's a great talent. And same with like Lex. Lex is fucking next level. He's like a photographic memory.
Yeah, he's a genius in some descriptor.
He is his podcast does phenomenal.
Massive. He does hundreds of thousands of views every time. But then you realise Rogan's is like millions of views every time.
Millions.
Yeah. Oh, it's just years, and it's just crazy to think on that
It
scale.
almost is kind of ruins it though, because he has so much cultural influence now.
Does now.
I feel like he does have to kind of watch what he says.
Oh yeah, he does. He does a lot more now than what he used
And
to. Think about what he talks about now and how he acts now.
But that's also getting older.
Yeah, it's all part of it.
Like he's pushing 60.
Think about when he
55.
Yeah,
60?
they're between because Callan's 57.
Well,
and Rogan on your phone, and I think Rogan might be like 56. Yeah,
but it's just it's not even that he's monitoring what he says. It's more he just probably doesn't think as outlandish as he used to.
Yeah, exactly.
When he gets fucking loose, it's on.
When he gets loose, he goes back to his fucking...
Like that
he
podcast.
goes back to the gorilla and sniffing salt and everything.
Podcast, that podcast you sent me.
You're like, Jesus.
That clip of him and Joey.
Just sniffing the sniffing salt, and they're playing Blade music in the background, and it's... Just go as... and they're watching fights, mate.
That
Sharp,
was like...
Sharp's losing his marbles. Eddie Bravo's dancing in the corner
It's like
going...
Schwab in that scenario is great.
Yeah, I know.
His own podcast and stuff. But
struggling, but...
Seeing Schwab in that kind of environment, it's fun.
Oh, he's great. That's why I got
because he's an OG.
Yeah,
but
that's why him and Callum, man, they've been doing Fighter and the Kid for a long time.
Do you know
all the ups and downs?
I don't fuck with anymore because they just annoy me. Tom and Bert, I just can't do it.
Yeah, I don't watch much by Tom and Bert. I never really watched Your Mum's House and Kreischer's. I watched a lot of Kreischer on like the shows that he went on, but I never really got onto him. And then by then, I never got into Two Bears, One Cave.
I like Bert because
I like some of the clips. Some of the clips they do are hilarious.
If there's one person from another country I could sit across the table and just go hard with, like drink with, me and Bert would have the best night. But I honestly think if it came down to a sesh and me and Bert were sat across from each other, I think I would put him in a fucking world he's never been in.
I don't know, man. I don't know what world Bert's... Yeah, I don't know.
Give me a proper Australian sesh over 3 days. He is not even touching my fucking sides.
I don't know, mate. Wouldn't you want to put Adam Jones in your pace after that Perth trip?
Oh, mate, Adam Jones was on it. He just hit his peak. He would never do it again.
He had that golden moment, man. He found his flow state.
He did
find his flow state.
Honestly, he did. He found his flow state. He wasn't even Adam Jones. He was just watching Adam Jones.
He was just MVP that whole weekend. Don't call me Adam. I'm MVP. All right, just call me that.
I just don't see a world where Bert would ever cause me any form of problem in a drink. But in what I'm saying, he just seems like he's a bit of a fucking idiot sometimes.
You know what's weird about you were saying, and I just hear about listening to comedians recently. Chris DiStefano had it, Kreischer had it. They had a tier session on one of their podcasts talking about not being around their kids as comedians, being on the road, and how much Callan's talked about it, missing it. Sharb is not doing comedy at the moment. Because he's trying to be around, because his daughter had the health issues, and he's trying to be there for his sports for his kids as they're 8 years old, 5 years old, and a baby that's just nearly died. And so he's just like, and everyone's like, oh, you quit comedy. He's like, I want to be around. And then you hear there's
look, Joe just tried to save his mate's life, and it turned into what it is. Yeah. it fucking. Brendan's earned more money than I ever will. Mate, he's done well.
He's flipped a car, mate. He's just gone through all that. He nearly died himself.
He flipped a car.
He flipped a massively...
Was that
one of his decked out trucks? His TRX.
Oh, they call them tracks.
His Churks. Yeah, he did it, and it did some auto lock diff, or the brakes went off when they didn't think, but at a certain RPMs, it auto locked and it flipped him. And he totaled the car, and he could have really gone. And then his daughter was like, "Yeah, my lungs don't want to work anymore." And then he's like, "Yeah." So hasn't been doing comedy and all this, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's quit," because obviously he gets shit on for his comedy. but he's been doing the podcast a whole second, and that boy's got
He's grinds.
He's got some coin.
I bet when
that dude talks all the cars and buys all the trucks and fish and whatever else bloody interest he gets into. It's very strange.
I bet he got out the car when his car flipped, and he went to the ambulance, and he's like, "You'd be surprised."
Oh, you'd be surprised.
You'd be surprised.
He was talking about that the latest one. He was that he had a tracker, and when it flipped, he got the auto call out because it was like a self-destruct on the car. The car was so damaged it sent out a distress signal, and he was out there on the tracks, like out in batshit nowhere, and he was like, "No, helicopters showed up within like half an hour." He goes, "I didn't think anyone was going to show up."
Did you watch the Cat Williams podcast?
No, the one with Shannon where he's talking shit on everyone.
You didn't watch it?
No, I didn't watch it.
So I watched it, and
how long was it?
Huh?
How long was it?
Couple of hour and a bit.
Hour and a bit.
It's more of a formal podcast.
Getting into some shit.
It's obviously it's more of a formal podcast. It's very well produced. It's more like a very loose interview.
Yeah.
It's a pretty loose interview. Obviously, there's dot pointy glaze, but that's just him being a great podcaster. He's very good at it.
Yeah.
But Kat, when he was talking about
He went off.
those comedians, he's obviously. But
something about it, but then immediately the comedian, and then Rogan was like, "Yeah, come on."
do you know who is fucking hilarious? Shane Gillis.
Yeah, Gillis is big now. Got sponsored by Bud Light.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, yeah,
They're trying to come back from the trans thing.
And then they sponsored UFC.
Did
It's
they?
no longer Modelo, is it?
Is it?
It's Bud Light.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, man. Didn't you listen?
No shit.
Yeah, Modelo's gone. Bud
Oh my
Light's
god,
in.
we're gonna be able to drink Modelo's in Vegas.
We can do Modelo.
Modelo Especial will always be the drink of the UFC
wow.
to me.
Nah, the missus always thinks of P3, the official protein pack. The official protein stack of the UFC.
That's so good.
The
Where did
P3.
that go? That's gone.
That's gone as well. Yeah. Hey, man. Changes like the wind.
Modelo will always be the UFC to me.
Big. All right. So we'll bring it back to the fights. So 299. Let's look at. So we said Peter Yan Song Yadong. Interesting. Gilbert Burns, Jack Della Maddalena, our boy.
See, I really want to go JDM because he's
You definitely want to go
weapon,
that.
But
now,
that's a hard fight.
How much is so striking? Della has the advantage, but just
Oh mate, you
Gilbert
can't
is
sleep.
so
You can't
Gilbert
sleep
is
on
so
him.
skilled,
and he's not scared of the ground, so he's
Nah.
going to be throwing fucking those.
They were saying
bro.
that Della. Who was saying that Della's ground game is like really surprisingly good?
He's a brown belt, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a bit of a brown belt. Yeah, but apparently he's like really good. But it's like you're talking Gilbert Burns good.
Dude, no, but that's
Gilbert Burns is world champion.
The only
World champion
thing, though,
10 years ago.
The only thing Henry Cejudo was an Olympic wrestler.
I know. And he just got picked up on his shoulder by Marab, the MMA wrestler, and just.
But it's like, do you need to be that good at jiu-jitsu, or do you just need to be good at not getting tapped?
We've talked about this in the gym.
And do you
talking with the fighters, it's very different because how much effort they put into
you just got to focus on wrestling
and wrestling staying on your feet compared to actually scrambles and more jiu-jitsu style on the ground, which is off the back, knowing how to off balance to get debase, to get in a more advantageous position off your back and on the ground compared to just not being on your back or on the ground at all. Yeah. So one with overhooks, underhooks against the wall leverage compared to no scrambles and squirm frames, different things. So how much do you put into grappling and doing on the ground on your back compared to I just don't get taken down, or wall wrestling and wrestling? That's why they say there's grappling ground game, grappling wrestling, striking.
Yeah.
It's just different things and how much you put in, because scrambles play a massive part, and people that do a lot of jiu-jitsu is just scrambles.
JDM doesn't strike me as someone who would get manhandled. Do you know what I mean? Like when you look at him and you see like
he ain't just going to accept a world champion jiu-jitsu guy just doing
I feel like I just cannot see it in his being that
that's
he's
not the way
Gilbert.
That's not the way Gilbert goes anyway. Like Gilbert's
he's
going to come in, throw
sporadic.
and but he will mix it in, and hopefully Della can sort out those situations so he doesn't end up on his back. Preferably he wouldn't want to be on his back against, just to run the risk. He wouldn't even want to play the game. And as the longer it's on the feet, I think Della.
So what would your bet be?
3 rounds, Della by decision.
Della by decision.
Yeah.
I also think Della by decision.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to be able to stop him, and I just hope
bit.
he has to be able to hurt him and deter him enough. And I think it will swing the other way.
Dude, I could never bet against Gilbert.
No, but if Gilbert hurts Della and then can get him down on the ground
and choke him out,
yeah, he could do something like that. So I could see that playing out too.
I can also see Della not tapping and just letting himself fucking die because that cunt doesn't have an ounce of quid.
No,
he's an animal.
He wouldn't mind his anything
Bro,
getting smushed.
he is. When I was saying, my top pick for the next big thing in Australian MMA is Jack Jenkins.
Jenkins?
Yes, because
Farjack.
I think JDM might be the next most accomplished.
Yeah.
Because like Jack,
they're the shining lights. You've got the established,
dude.
And then you've got the upcoming. They're definitely the two big upcoming.
If Madalena can clear out, Gilbert's not even a gatekeeper. He is
He's still top up.
If you see him work out in the gym,
he's crazy.
It's the most insane thing you ever see.
He's still working hard.
He is my favorite fighter to watch just train.
And he'll tell you it's life cycle mushrooms. There you go.
Yeah, life cycle
mushrooms.
mushrooms.
Life cycle fucking shout out, mate. Coming right on here. That guy is everywhere.
They don't sponsor the podcast. So
they
fuck
don't.
Them. Go to Toodaloo's.
Now, speaking of, go to Toodaloo's if you want your whistle cleaned up nice and good with some fresh water.
How many people, if you had to put a number on it, do you think have
ordered through the podcast? Because you've got that.
How many? Be realistic.
14.
22, son. I might be lying, but there's a bit more. No, it's more than 14.
Oh, good. Oh,
but it's high, a lot
I
higher.
saw it because I've seen once or twice when you've shared it and be like,
dude,
shout out to you.
I was so surprised. It must have been one episode that just done really well. And I was like, do you know what? I was I was laying in bed yesterday and I was like,
what is it?
To Yaz, I was like stroking my beard. I was like,
having that Socrates moment, were you?
I was like, you know about 20 people have bought this. That means about 40 to 45 people got a clean asshole because of me.
People that clean their whistles real good because they listen to my podcast.
Dude,
thought about it. What are we? Just a bunch of savages? You still using toilet paper? Goes back to
myflushy.com. My flushy.
Goes back to what is it?
My tushy, sorry.
My tushy, yeah. Wasn't it Demolition Man where it was the seashells? He doesn't know how to use the seashells. What, he got toilet paper? He starts just swearing to get paper so he can wipe his bottom because that's how it goes.
But yes, before we got onto that,
JDM.
I think JDM by decision.
Sky's the limit. It's just if he gets cage controlled or taken down and controlled.
This is the fight for him that it's like, okay.
Should be his coming out party.
This is if you can beat Burns and beat him decisively.
Big name.
If you can beat him decisively
on decision, if he beats him decisively, it's a big win.
Because
he had Kevin Holland in the last fight, right? And it was close, but he looked superior on the feet.
If Burns gets him in a bad position and he overcomes it and then comes to win, mate, future champ.
Yeah.
100%.
JDM's got a lot going for him.
He does.
It's looking good.
What's next?
Kevin Holland, Michael Venom Page.
I got Colin by KO.
God, it's going to be so fun.
I don't think it is. I reckon Holland's going to knock him out in the first fucking 2.5 minutes.
How much talk's there going to be while they're actually conscious?
I don't think he does that anymore.
Who, Holland or Page?
Holland. Page needs to shut the fuck up because he doesn't know what he's
Page has been through a bit as well, mate. He's done bare knuckle.
Shout out to and he lost to Mike Perry.
But Mike Perry's also the best at bare knuckle.
Mike Perry is the best fighter that's ever lived, in my opinion.
The most. Well, how would you even say that? Hard nosed.
You go win a fucking UFC fight with Sarah in your corner.
It ain't gonna work.
Yeah, do you know why it's not gonna work? Because you're not the best fighter that's ever lived.
You don't mind just eating knuckles to your teeth and shit just getting snapped and broken.
Didn't Perry win a fight?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, with his girlfriend. Yeah, he'd separated from his previous girlfriend or his wife who was going to marry and got this new girlfriend. He's like, yeah, you be in my corner. And
he's the first white male to ever get the N-word pass.
Oh, man. He's so different in his own way. So, But Kevin Holland, thinking of Kevin Holland, I also did watch the Hamzat.
Oh, it's gone.
What do you got there? Why are you pulling that up?
It's gone.
Oh.
Don't worry, I'll tell you off camera.
All right. Yeah, Kevin Holland against Hamzat when Hamzat just absolutely manhandled him.
That scramble.
For that 2 minutes was out of control.
You cannot. I'm off Kamzat at the moment because he doesn't fight enough.
That scramble was mad.
But that scramble proved how good he is.
Oh. Yeah, I just proved how good he is in the first
Holland
the first round.
Did nothing wrong.
Hamzat, like I said, Hamzat is up there with Conor McGregor for the best first round fighter in the UFC.
I'd say
ever.
First minute and a half, he's one of the most dangerous fighters that I've ever seen.
That blitz, like he's got that blitz, and that blitz is so powerful.
Do you know what? Kamzat, because he's got the knockout power and the wrestling, he is the most terrifying first round fighter I've ever
That's what they say,
seen.
Yeah. He's like the Mike Tyson effect.
Dude.
Like the early rounds where you just
knocked,
don't like in Ngannou in the heavyweight division, like don't let him touch you. Like I don't even want you to be
when he knocked
anywhere
out
near. I don't want to
Mersha,
feel the wind come. Oh, that straight piston right hand straight down because he thought
he walked into the cage.
You could fake low and he just faked like he was going to touch his leg, and that was enough for him to stiffen up and then just.
But he just fucking walked him down there, and he's like,
in 12 seconds,
and he just went like this, like literally just ducked a little bit, and he's just gone boof and just knocked him out.
Yeah.
Kamza definitely is the most terrifying first round fighter I've ever seen.
Yeah, first round
because
crazy.
McGregor's got 3 rounds in him easy.
Yeah,
he does,
and he can. Yeah, he can work into that. So, but there you go. So I'm just looking forward to that. Kevin Holland versus Michael Venom Page will be fun.
Next,
see how it goes.
I got Holland by first round KO. Who do you got?
I'd be cool with that. Yeah, I think Holland. Maybe Holland.
Just pretend you got a grand. You got a grand on it.
I got a grand on it.
You got a grand on it.
Holland by second round TKO.
Nice.
Dustin Poirier, Benoit, Saint Denis.
I got Saint Denis.
First saying here, Saint Denis.
I reckon this is the next passing of the guard. Personally,
I went back and watched Saint Denis fights in the last 2 days,
and now you know that Poirier's
he's gonna be in some hurt. He's gonna have to hurt him real bad in that third. Like Poirier has to hurt Saint Denis real hard in that first second. If he doesn't really hurt him to deter him enough for this war machine to come forward and beat the shit out of him with his kicks, beat the shit out of him with his pressure. Like, this dude won't stop. Poirier's a vet. Poirier is very good. Poirier has to hurt him very bad in that first round or two.
37?
Yeah, and it's a passing of the guard. Like, I think he's still got that dog in him.
And do you know what?
He's not going to lay down for this guy, but you're talking about a different kettle of fish.
Before we continue,
Frenchman Special Forces elite.
Before we continue, shout out to Poirier for taking it.
And he's just, you know what? Because I think he wanted to do like the step up. It's like you need that motivation. It's what Volk said, unfortunately, for Islam. He's like, I needed a reason to fucking get up and go do it.
There has to be one of these fighters that takes this fight. Do you know what I mean? Like everyone, Gaethje's a bit of a princess.
Gaethje's fighting Holloway at 300.
No, but like he only wants title fights or it's Holloway. Like he would not take the Saint Denis fight.
I don't think he would. No.
He wouldn't.
Doesn't have to.
He doesn't have to.
Well, Poirier doesn't have to either, which is why I was surprised that Poirier took it.
That's why I'm saying there has to be at least one of these fucking OGs that fights a
But
killer.
they all do. But then we said they're doing it now because you've got this one with Saint Denis versus Poirier. You've got Sarukian versus...
Oliveira would take a fight with me if he had to. He doesn't give a fuck. I'm going to try and fight someone in Vegas, by the way. I'm going to go to Stream Couture.
Well, I will not be with... I will be watching outside from the cage
you're going to corner me.
Yeah,
I'm going to go in there and call out Strickland.
Yeah, well, don't. You know, Sneeko got banned from the UFC PI after that, mate. He's no longer welcome back.
I'd hope I do better than Sneeko. I'd let Sean knock me out. I don't give a fuck.
That dude went hard at the paint on him. It's a bit tough.
I feel like... you have the grand. Are you betting Poirier? Oh, because Poirier can win.
Poirier can definitely win.
Poirier
has many ways to win.
In my mind, it'd be
Saint Denis is on the tear.
It'd be $1.80 to $2.40 to me.
Poirier's the underdog or the favourite?
Underdog.
Poirier's the underdog?
to me.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder how the odds are going to play
It's
out.
just he's just like
Well, Poirier's
gotta
because you
take
think he's on the down, but he's still got the skills.
Nah,
He's
but
not
you
been
gotta-
hurt too bad.
You got to take the this cunt's training like he wants to be a champ.
Yeah. This guy's
Like,
a
it's
madman.
different.
And if you watch his UFC debut,
It's just
when he
different.
fought a weight class above, and he got he essentially got murdered.
I'm
in
sure-
the cage and
I'm-
still kept going.
I'm sure Poirier's training every single day.
Yeah, he would be.
And
Like-
being an animal,
Yeah,
but it's
that's-
just different when
yeah.
when you're younger. It's just different.
You know what it is when guys talk about that walk in. I'm like, I know I'm trying to hurt you. Like he's throwing kicks at your arms. He's like, I'm trying to break your arms.
It's like
throwing this. I'm literally trying to kill
It's like
you.
Prime Ferguson. He would hit you just because you would get more hurt than him. He didn't care what he hit you with.
Yeah.
He would just kick you in the leg.
Well, I think Jan Blachowicz leg kicks. Like even if you check him, he's like, I'm just smashing my tree trunks against your tree
On the
trunks.
weekend, Tuffers.
Oh.
We didn't go over that.
Yeah, Junior Tougher on the events.
that first-
the guy that got flying kneed by Derek Lewis.
That first fucking
Yeah, your kid just got calf kicked to death, and all of a sudden he couldn't fucking walk.
calf kicks are such an advantage for heavyweight.
Well, they talked about it. Like, Bisping was there. He's like, in Bisping's whole career, he never took a calf kick.
No shit. What fight are we up to?
We are on Dustin Poirier versus Benoit.
I'm actually
Saint-Denis.
going to piss my pants.
Oh, he's going again. All right. Yeah. All right.
Benoit Saint-Denis,
Saint Denis, mate. Yep.
for me.
He's a scary mother, Shane.
Yeah, it's just, do you know what? I wish Poirier the best, but I think, like I said a million times, it's passing of the
They're
guard.
going. Well, I won't even get into the start with the 300 then, and how you feel about Holloway against Gaethje.
So,
Yeah, we'll get there.
so who's next?
So we've gone through. We're happy with Poirier, Saint Denis.
Yeah, I'm going Saint-Denis by finish.
Yeah.
Finish. I reckon
By
he
finish.
finishes him.
It's only
Yeah.
3 rounds.
I reckon he goes hard. I don't know.
Yeah, he's gonna go hard. I think
When you're fighting once every 1.5 years, dude, it's hard.
he could. You know what? His grappling looked good as well. I went back and watched Saint Denis versus Moises and how good he looked in that
Yes.
fight. That was he's just stepped up. Everything he's gone, he's just firing. So Saint Denis definitely got all the momentum. So I'll go for him. Sean O'Malley, Chito Vera.
Yeah, I got.
Anyway,
fuck.
whatever happens, and then the big fight is with either of this and Marab after this. So
I reckon.
I think whoever wins this, it's a much just style wise for what comes with Marab.
That's probably the hardest fucking fight on the card for me. I'd go O'Malley.
Yep. O'Malley's the
By
fast
decision,
starter.
by decision.
O'Malley is the fast starter, whereas Vera's the slow starter.
I reckon O'Malley by decision. Maybe split.
Could be. Could be.
If you could bet on a split, if you had to pick between a split and a decisive unanimous decision, I'd go O'Malley by split. I reckon he gets the first 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe the 5th.
Yeah. Nah. Well. Yeah. Vera comes on strong. He's definitely the definition of the slow boil.
But maybe O'Malley finds something and he does.
You know what though? Everything changes if you get hit with a kick and all of a sudden it shuts the foot.
That's the thing. He doesn't want that to happen again.
Yeah.
He's going to point fight the fuck out of Cheeto.
And that's why
And I
I think
reckon
point
if-
fighting style and Cheeto being the slow burn and not being able to get the range and
And it's
timing
hard.
early
You ain't-
enough and all these things.
You're not
that
going to
come.
knock out Cheeto. It's very
No,
hard.
sad. Yeah, knocking out Cheeto. Good luck.
Very hard.
Yeah.
I reckon
he's going to be able to snipe him, but again, for Cheeto to get the rhythm, Cheeto's good on the feet. He slow starts because he's waiting to get your timing and your rhythm to find his way in to get his shots.
But he's
and while
obviously-
he's leg kicking him and trying to beat the shit out of
He's
it.
going to go back to that calf.
Yeah.
Like, he'll go back to it because
Yeah.
it works.
Yeah. So
And O'Malley has shit legs.
got no wheels on him.
Well, no, he did his ankle in that. Was it his ankle or
Yeah,
his ACL?
he got drop foot in the first Cheeto fight.
And then that's it.
And then that's it for 299. So we'll go.
To the... Oh, mate, I copped so much shit for this on my fucking... We won't go too deep into this. I just want to more talk about the main event.
On
And
what, 300?
And the co-main. We'll talk about this because we're going to do a podcast.
Are you gonna
in
do it
between.
closer?
We're doing it by podcast maybe fight week.
Okay.
of 300.
Okay.
But
You want to go...
I want to go the main and the co-main.
Mate, the co-main is Zhang Wei Li versus Yan...
Why is that
Yan
the co-main?
Zhenan. That's the co-main.
Because it's a title fight.
Because
But
it's a title fight.
The real
Okay,
co-main.
so Justin Gaethje, Max Holloway.
Justin Gaethje is going to derail Max Holloway's career, in my opinion.
Yeah. I've heard you say this and it hurts my feelings.
It does. Do you not agree?
Nah, Holloway is such a good boxer.
He's looking big.
Yeah,
He's looking bigger.
Yeah, they look when they
look
went next
similar.
to each. Yeah, they
He's
look
not the
similar
same
when they
as
stood
when
up
he went
next to
up.
each other.
Because when he fought Dustin, he was a 145er.
Yeah.
That just went up.
Yeah.
Now he looks a bit more like a 150.
And that was noticeable about being able to hit, and it was almost like the Paulo Costa, Rob Whittaker. Like if you look at the end of the fight, one looked like he got the shit beat out of him, but the other guy was kind of landing more strikes. But damage wise, it was so much different.
I just think the damage.
I think the damage that Gaethje can do to Holloway compared to what Holloway can do. Holloway can play that game, but if he starts getting caught and tagged by Gaethje,
you're not going to pit a pat.
It's no.
Because in round,
and then they were showing highlights of
is
him.
it 5?
Yeah, no,
It's not 5.
no,
Oh,
no, because it's not even a co-main.
dude,
Yeah.
that's a different fight. Because do you know what? Gaethje might come out Max might take the first round, but in round 3, say Gaethje knows he's 2 down. That's the worst round of your life.
You
If
don't
Gaethje-
want to exit with your chin up. At
If
any
Gaethje
stage.
knows he's 2 rounds down and losing a point fight, he's gonna look
coming
at
out,
his
yeah.
fucking coach, go cross-eyed.
They're gonna giggle at each other. They're gonna smile.
This
get that
is
cheeky
what
grin.
we've been waiting for.
Yeah, get that mad cheeky
everything.
grin. You're like, you're an absolute mad hatter because you're gonna go out and you're happy
Oh my
to
god! Why did I
use
forget
your
his
body
coach's name?
to. Gaethje's coach.
Yes.
Oh,
my god! What the?
Trevor Whitman.
But Trevor Whitman. He's gonna look at Trevor in the eyes, and he's gonna be like, "You're not talking to me this round. The
you're not
devil
here for me,
is.
son.
The devil's here."
Yeah, you gonna play? You having fun out there? You having fun?
I'd rather lose like the first round just to make him feel better.
I'm just curious. I'm curious to see, like, even in their boxing styles, because they're both.
Yeah, but Jake's got them kicks.
They're
Man.
both. Yeah, Gaethje's got the
Gaethje's
kicks.
got them kicks.
You know what? And Holloway eats kicks. Yeah. And how long is he going to eat
You're not gonna
Gaethje's
eat
kicks
those
until he sets the face up?
Yeah.
So
That's what I like. He's gonna eat that leg up until the head's, and you know Whitman
could be.
is fucking pumping that into him. But you also know that Max has got that in his head
you
as
have
well.
to know that as well. You got to come change something up.
$1,000. Who you got?
Gaethje. It's got to be Gaethje.
Bye.
Gaethje's got too much power.
Do you reckon it's his first finish?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Second round.
Second?
Yeah.
You reckon Max holds out?
Yeah. He holds out the first.
I'm gonna go. Imagine Max knocks
Second-
him out.
second or third.
Imagine Max just sits on a bunch.
Oh, it'd be so good. I wouldn't even be angry.
Oh my
Like,
god,
I'd be
he's
so happy
fighting.
to see Max.
If he knocks out,
If he
imagine
finishes Gaethje, get the BMF.
imagine
and
the
then
lightweight division. No,
No, he's got. Well, he's not going up. Oh, you reckon he's going to go up?
Max goes for Islam.
Islam, where he missed the fight with Khabib and he called out because of the whole miss with the Brooklyn debacle.
Max,
He was the first one to call up, and it was a bad weight cut for 155 because it was New York.
Islam's not holding him down.
No, it's tough to hold Max down.
You're
Has
not
anyone ever
holding
held
him
Max down?
No, Connor took him down a little bit.
Yeah, early when he was 21. Now he's like 33.
Unfortunately, I do got Gaethje by like second or third round TKO. Yeah. But if
I
Max
think too
won,
much power, accumulation of what you just said, leg kicks, accumulation of kicks, slowing down Max's ability to move and use slick boxing and set up what he wants to do. Gaethje's a little bit too much power, hurts him a little bit too much, staggers him, and then might be.
And then the main event, which I will say, Dana, I can't believe you cock-teased us so much.
It's not what he originally wanted.
Everyone, every single... When I got such mixed reviews of this reel I posted, and it was like half the people were saying, yeah, this is bullshit, and half the people were saying, oh, you're a fucking casual. That's a good fight. Yeah, it is a good fight.
Yeah, good
but
fight,
not
but-
for UFC 300. Who gives a fuck? There's no repercussions.
No.
Because do you
not
know
the
what's
same
going to happen? And I'm going to tell you now. There is no other outcome between Jamal Hill going to fucking sleep.
Jamal Hill.
It just depends how quickly it's going to happen.
I think Jamal Hill's leg is going to be very sore that next day before he wakes up on the
Pereira
canvas.
is going to knock him out within 2 rounds, and then he's going to go and fucking headline UFC 301 in Brazil.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
That's what he's
just
gonna
going to
do.
roll it over, yeah.
There is no way in fucking hell. I watched heaps of interviews of Jamal. I watched the one with him and Ariel.
And he's still only coming off the Achilles injury.
He thinks that he wants to. He can strike with him.
Yeah.
Like, he probably actually thinks that. You are going to get slept.
The issue is, almost with the Topuria versus Volk, it's like if he comes in, an athletic guy, and all of a sudden leaps in with that big hand and catches Pereira on the chin, can happen.
Well, it's a fucking exciting time in the UFC. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Me and Tom have some shit to attend to. We're going to have some beers.
Yeah, we are.
But I appreciate you coming on.
Appreciate it, mate.
And expect Tom back for the UFC 300 breakdown.
I'll be there for it. Always a big fan of all the fight talk, mate.
And I appreciate you.
Love it, mate.
Love you too.
Thanks, mate.